A picture-perfect Sunday afternoon in Cleveland, Ohio, as the Washington Redskins take the field here at Cleveland Browns Stadium. Week 4 in the National Football League, as the Browns get set to host the Redskins. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. I'm Kenny Albert along with Brian Baldinger. Browns and Redskins have mirrored each other over the first 3 weeks. Both teams with big victories opening weekend, and over the last 2 weeks they've both lost to the Giants. They've both lost to the Cowboys. And Brian, both teams doing it with 34-year-old veteran quarterbacks who have had great success with other organizations.
Yeah, they have. You're talking about Jeff Garcia and Mark Brunell, and they both kind of struggled to start the season, as you would expect coming into new systems. But I thought both played well in the second half last week. Jeff Garcia was 14 for 17 in the second half in the loss to the Giants, and you know, he's struggling in the system, but we want to see if he can carry it over to today. And then for Mark Brunell, I think he's a little more comfortable in the system right now, and he had two touchdown passes in the second half in the loss to Dallas on Monday night. And we want to see if he can carry that over today and see if they can get things moving here and get their offenses moving today.
Now, from a defensive standpoint, Washington, under new coordinator Greg Williams, former head coach of the Bills, they've been terrific.
Yeah, Greg Williams has earned his money because this Washington Redskins defense, minus LeVar Arrington right now, is the #1 ranked defense against the run in the National Football League. And they're doing it with a lot of tough guys up front. They're well coached, a lot of different schemes. And the test today for Cleveland, a team that wants to run the ball. Their identity is to pound the football. They'll do it today with William Green. They're going to play the first 2 series. Then Lee Suggs, second year back from Virginia Tech. He's going to get a couple of series. Whoever gets the hot hand is going to get a chance to lead this Cleveland Browns running attack against the #1 ranked defense against the run in the National Football League.
All right, Brian, who will put up big numbers for the Browns and the Redskins today? There is still time to select your singular fantasy football team for this week. Text message 63504 on your singular wireless phone or vote on foxsports.com.
Now ball is the bell, all right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, go! Let's go!
Good one today, baby.
You're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in 720p and Dolby 5.1, the world's finest high-definition standard.
58 degrees and sunny here in Cleveland. Browns and Redskins meeting for the first time since 1991. Joe Gibbs, of course, the Redskins head coach the last time these teams got together.
A little nervous this week coming off a Monday night loss to the Cowboys. Not a lot of sleep. Butch Davis trying to stop a 2-game losing streak. You know that Butch Davis played for Joe Gibbs at Arkansas. Joe Gibbs was the offensive line coach at Arkansas back in 1972 when Butch Davis was a defensive lineman there. Like all head coaches, 32 years later, they don't remember a lot about each other.
No. Back in the early 70s. Browns have won the toss. Andre King and D. Brown back deep for Cleveland as John Hall gets things started. This is Brown, who was cut last week, brought back by the Browns. And the backup running back out of Syracuse takes it 22 yards, brought down by Mike Sellers. So the Browns, who have not scored in the first quarter yet this season, no touchdowns, no field goals, go to work first, led by Jeff Garcia. After 5 seasons in San Francisco, signed by the Browns during the offseason. And then protecting Garcia, Verba, the former Packer. William Green gets the start, but as Brian mentioned in the open, we will also see a lot of Lee Suggs. Garcia on first down is taken down. Ron Warner, who made his first NFL start on Monday night against the Cowboys with the sack on the first play from scrimmage.
Well, Jeff Garcia faked right, was going to go left. This was supposed to be just a quick 3-step drop. Ron Warner comes right inside, beats Ross Verba. Runs right over Ross Verba. Verba thinking that ball was going to be out in about 1.5 seconds, and Garcia still had it in his hands.
Also 4 on the sack, second down and 14. William Green back to the original line of scrimmage. Out to the 33-yard line. Fred Smoot coming up from the right corner to make the stop.
Ron Warner hurt down there for the Washington Redskins right now.
A look at the Redskins' third-ranked defensive unit without both LeVar Arrington and Mike Barrow.
Antonio Pierce has played very well in the middle, and a good addition right there. The rookie Sean Taylor makes his second start, the highly touted rookie out of the University of Miami, the first-round pick.
So Ron Warner, a sack on the first play, injured on the second.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
Back in Cleveland, Ron Warner shaken up, replaced by Demetric Evans, number 92. 3rd down and 7 for the Browns. They need to get to the 41 for a first down. 3 wide receivers. Garcia can't find anyone downfield. And the Browns go 3 and out on their opening possession for the 4th consecutive game.
And they make Garcia uncomfortable. They actually come with a 6-man rush. You see both these defenders for the Redskins come. And Garcia wants to step up in the pocket, but that stops him from really stepping up, forcing him to throw it a little bit quick. Browns continue to struggle to start football games. 4 weeks in a row now, they've gone out on 3 plays.
First punt from Derek Frost. Out of bounds at the 45-yard line. So terrific field position for the Redskins. Only a 25-yard punt by Frost. Mark Brunell, big second half last week against Dallas. Joe Gibbs called Brunell's performance on Monday night heroic.
Well, he's becoming more comfortable in this offense. I mean, I think when people hear a quarterback comes from a system, what is the system? The system is, it's the plays, it's the terminology, it's their philosophy about what they're trying to do. And both these quarterbacks are coming to new systems with new philosophies. They're trying to learn the terminology, in addition to learning the players and what their receivers can do and what their talent can do.
Brunell took a lot of time, and a penalty flag prior to the snap. Ron Winter.
False start. Offense number 60. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
That's Chris Samuels, the 2-time Pro Bowl left tackle. Pushes the Redskins back to the 40, 1st and 15. 2 tight ends set. Quentin Portis, the lone back. And this is Portis on first down, gaining 6 down to the 46, setting up 2nd down and 9. Robert Griffin made the tackle. Browns ranked 25th defensively. Lang, a former Redskin first-round pick, already with 4 sacks. Redskins go to the hurry-up offense. As we take you through the Browns defensively, McCutcheon and Henry, the quarterbacks return from injuries. Brunell on 2nd and 9, complete into Browns territory. Lavernius Coles brought down by Sean Thompson for the Cleveland 49, setting up 3rd down and 4.
You see Brunell calling the signals out. This is just a one-on-one ISO right here from the slot position. Brunell calling the plays at the line of scrimmage right now, and what that does, it's very difficult for Cleveland to substitute players while this happens. So they're trying to get matchups right now, especially right here with these 2 receivers in this look.
Coles and Gardner split to the right. 3rd and 4. Brunell with time, a penalty flag as the pass is caught at the 46-yard line by Gardner, wrapped up immediately by Robert Griffith. Did not look like he had enough for the first. As we await Ron Winter's call.
Illegal formation. Offense. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
You know, this is going to kill Joe Gibbs, because Joe Gibbs might be the only coach in pro football right now that actually has 7 officials at every single practice. And all the penalties that they incur during practice all week long, they put them on a reel and show them to the team every Saturday night. They've had 2 penalties here on this opening drive.
Liddell Betts now in the backfield. Redskins have to get to the Browns' 45 for a first down. Liddell rolling right, and he fires out of bounds.
Mark Brunell told me something pretty interesting yesterday. He said for the first time in his career, his coach, Joe Gibbs, is telling him, if there's nobody open, don't run, don't try to make a play, throw it away. We've got a great defense. Put our defense back on the field. That's a throwaway. People in Washington are looking at him saying, boy, he looks terrible. He's not accurate. He purposely threw that ball away because he'd rather have a non-play than a bad play.
Tom Tupa, former Brown. Fielded by Dennis Northcutt at the 15.
Boy, he's got a room. He's got one man to beat.
And it's the punter, Tupa.
He's out.
Ruled out of bounds at the 41. The punter, Tom Tupa, got enough of Dennis Northcutt.
You know, I tell you, how does Dennis Northcutt not score a touchdown on this? How do you let the punter knock you out of bounds here? There's nobody to beat. It's a gutsy play by Northcutt, sucking all the coverage to him, taking the ball off the bounce, and really nobody to beat but the punter.
Ruling on the field is that the return stepped out of bounds.
A 44-yard return by Northcutt. .44-yard punt return by Northcutt. Browns start from the Redskins' 41-yard line. And this is William Green, who gained 91 against the Giants last week, gaining just 1, 2nd and 9.
Here's what happened on the punt return by Northcutt. He did step out of bounds. It was a good call by the sideline official. Right here, you're going to see his left foot hit the white stripe right there, but it should never have come down to that. The only guy that could have knocked him out was the punter. There was nobody else around him. I think Northcutt will see that on tape tomorrow and see that there was nobody to stop him from getting 7 points in that return.
2 tight ends set, 2nd and 9. Garcia complete. First down, Aaron Shea. Brings it down to the Redskins' 27, a gain of 13.
Well, one thing Garcia is going to have to deal with today is the Redskins have 11 rushers. Anybody on that defense is capable of coming. This time, Sean Springs comes off the corner, the left cornerback. And Garcia just happens to have the perfect play on against that corner blitz.
First catch of the year for the tight end, Shea. The end around. Andre Davis losing 3, tackled back at the 30-yard line by Demetric Evans.
No, reverses can look really ugly sometimes. And I think a reverse, you've got to set it up. I think reverses early in games, when everybody's just trying to get their feeling for what's going on and relax, get into a tempo, I think it's a tough play. This is a power football team that Butch Davis wants to have on the field, and those are the kind of plays you should run early. Get them thinking about just running right into the belly of that line, and then maybe coming with a little misdirection and reverse.
Lee Suggs has checked in. Garcia to the air on 2nd and 13. Richie Morgan lost the football, and it's recovered by Antonio Pierce.
I think that was Fred Smoot over there that stripped that ball loose. Antonio Pierce, who leads this team in tackles, is playing great. Watch Smoot on the corner here. His job is to come up and make this tackle now. Yeah. He got one of those long arms around the backside and knocked that ball loose. And everybody in this league now is looking to strip. Good thing Sean Taylor didn't come from out of bounds to try and get that he wouldn't have been able to do that. It would have been an illegal touch. Cleveland would have had the ball.
So the Browns unable to capitalize following the big punt return by Dennis Northcutt. They give the ball right back to the Redskins, who start from their own 22-yard line. And this is Portis. Portis takes it out across the 30, brought down by Chris Crocker.
You know, there's a lot of cross-pollination between these two teams. I don't know if that's the word or not, but a lot of similarities. And one of them is Butch Davis, the head coach of Cleveland, recruited Clinton Portis to the University of Miami. In fact, he was the only coach that recruited Clinton Portis that wanted to make him a running back. Everybody else wanted him to be a defensive back. And once he got on the field at Miami, it was hard to get him off the field. But this is a very tough guy that I think is only going to get better. He's already been good, averaging over 100 yards a game, but he's going to get better in this system the more patient he becomes. He's so fast to the hole, and some of these plays in Washington requires patience. I mean, you think about Ernest Biner and John Riggins. They weren't speedy guys like Clinton Portis, but they were patient, powerful runners.
And when Portis arrived at the University of Miami, he was number 6 on the depth chart. The starter was James Jackson, who's now a member of the Cleveland Browns, inactive today.
Hard to believe that Clinton Portis could ever be 6th on the depth chart anywhere he's ever been.
Over 1,500 yards each of his first 2 seasons in the NFL with the Broncos. And Portis did pick up the first down on that previous carry. Brunell for the outside, and James Thrash makes the catch up at the 36-yard line. Forced out of bounds by Dalen McCutcheon after a 4-yard pickup.
You know, Cleveland last week went up against the Giants. Kurt Warner had a big day up there in New York, but Cleveland was without both starting corners. Dalen McCutcheon right there. He had a broken finger, and then on the other side, Anthony Henry was suffering from vertigo. So neither cornerback played last week. The backups were in there, and Kurt Warner kind of took advantage of that. Mark Brunell is going to see a much better secondary today.
McCutcheon playing with 3 pins in that broken finger.
Yeah.
3 wide receivers set. Second down and 6. Rolling to his left. Brunell firing, complete. Lavernius Coles. First down up at the 47-yard line. Anthony Henry brought him down, but the Redskins able to move the chains.
Well, for Redskin fans, I think that's a good sign. Getting Lavernius Coles involved in the game quickly. You know, last week, he also dislocated a finger. It popped out. He went to the sidelines. He pulled it out of the joint, put it back in the joint himself, and it bothered me. He dropped a couple of passes on Monday night. And to get him involved here against that type of coverage, it's important for a wide receiver.
The second catch today, 16 yards for Coles. Number 46. Brunell. Herod Gardner out of bounds in Browns territory at the Cleveland 45, about a yard shy of the marker.
You know, Brunell looks good right now. You know, we talked about at the open, which quarterback was going to continue some second half success. And it's hard when you lose a game to think that a quarterback could have improved. But right now he's 4 or 5 to start this game. And a left-handed guy, you know, usually you just run him to the left, but they move him to the right and to the left kind of equally. In fact, he said he thinks Joe Gibbs might have forgot that he's left-handed.
Second down and 2. Portis picks up the first. Portis played his last game as a Bronco against the Cleveland Browns last December, gained 139 yards, but suffered an ankle injury in that game, forced him to miss the last 2 games of the 2003 season.
Redskins doing a lot right at the line of scrimmage, trying to quicken the pace here, keep the substitution to a minimum by Cleveland, and calling this game at the line of scrimmage.
Gardner split to the left, Coles in the slot. On first down, passes caught by Gardner, and upset himself because he slipped. Brought down at the 36.
You know, I think one of the things Washington is doing is, if you study the depth chart of Cleveland, they're without Courtney Brown and Gerard Warren, who are starters. Brown out for the season, Warren will return. They don't have a lot of depth on the defensive line. When you hurry up your offense like this, you can fatigue the defensive line quick in games.
Second down and 4. From the 36, Portis up the middle. Another Redskins first down.
It's one of the pattern plays of the Washington Redskins right here. Just, you can see right here, just counter right here, coming back to the other side. You see Portis right here. You see the left guard, Dockery, comes out and gets a good kick. That time, Portis ran that play perfectly. That's a play from the Hogs day back in the 80s when they won 3 Super Bowls.
28 8 yards for Portis on only 4 carries. Third catch for Coles. And he's wrapped up at the 22-yard line with just over 5 minutes remaining, first quarter. Redskins and Browns are scoreless. Redskins looking to capitalize on the Cleveland turnover, the fumble by Quincy Morgan.
Well, Brunell said that this is the best group of wide receivers he's ever played with.
Quite a statement considering who he had in Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell in Jacksonville, who were perennial 1,000-yard receivers. But he said, we've got 5 wide receivers here, and they're all effective.
Portis down to the 17-yard line.
This drive has got a lot of balance right now, and I think what you have to look at is the offensive line right now that has come under some scrutiny. You know, they lost John Jansen in the preseason. Ray Brown at age 41. There's Ray right there. You know, he was in California when Joe Gibbs got the job, and he was working out in Arkansas when they called him in mid-August. When John Jansen went down. And I mean, people just marvel at how a guy could still play the game at age 41 and play it really well. In fact, Strahan said he's still a beast inside at the tackle position. He played against him last week.
Portis on first down. Sean Thompson made the tackle. Ray Brown told us last night, I've been a young hog, I've been an old hog.
Yeah. And now I'm a dirtbag. You know, that's the new name that has been given to this offensive line for the Washington Redskins, and he's proud of that. He's proud of that moniker of being a dirtbag. I mean, and then what that means really is you're just a grunt. You're just up there doing the dirty work and all for the team.
The 11th play of this Redskin drive. Brunell to Gardner. Looked to split through a couple of defenders, taken down at the 13-yard line.
Well, what they've done here is it's been positive yards. They haven't had any penalties here on this drive right now. And so they're in a position right now, makeable third downs. Don Groh, longtime assistant of Joe Gibbs right there. Kind of a collateral effort, calling plays. Joe Gibbs clearly is the play caller. He sends the play into Brunell himself.
Third down and 5. Redskins have to get to the 8 for a first down. And Chris Cooley threw an incomplete pass. The rookie out of Utah State. Had the ball knocked away by Anthony Henry.
Anthony Henry did a great job of finishing the play. By that, I mean the ball was caught on the outside here. It's a great throw by Brunell. But the play isn't over until the whistle blows. So here's Henry stripping that ball out of Cooley's hands. Never had possession, so no need to see if that ball was a fumble, blown dead, non-reviewable.
So John Hall with Tom Tupa holding out to attempt a 31-yard field goal. Redskins strike first. Ball from 31. Redskins lead the Browns 3-0. Back in Cleveland, Redskins leading 3-0. Well, this morning it was Ravens star Ray Lewis. Now it's your chance to tell us who you want to see go 10 yards with Terry Bradshaw on next week's pregame show. Log on to foxsports.com on MSN. Choose from Joe Gibbs, Mike Martz, Dick Vermeil, and Jim Mora Jr. Then tune in later today. See who was selected. 10 yards with TB.
I want to see him with Joe Gibbs. I want to see one Hall of Famer, Terry Bradshaw, talking to another Hall of Famer, Joe Gibbs.
Gibbs inducted back in '96. B. Brown on the return. Cuts to the outside. And James Thrash takes him down. There's a flag. Brown brought it back 25 yards to the 36.
James Thrash returning kicks, covering kicks, catching passes, just a complete football player.
Thrash back in Washington after 3 years as an Eagle.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask, 15-yard penalty, and a first down.
Grant grabbed hold of the face mask of Brown.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Trail-Rated Capability, only in a Jeep 4x4. By Levitra, ask your doctor about it today. Levitra, when it counts. By HP, welcome to HP Digital Photography. Click, print, invent. And by Universal Pictures Friday Night Lights in theaters Friday.
Inside the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
There's carry for Lee Suggs. And the second-year running back out of Virginia Tech takes it down to the Redskins' 29-yard line.
Remember the first carry of the year for Clinton Portis against Tampa Bay, a touchdown? It's the same type of run here for Lee Suggs. 25 yards right off the left side, just an inside zone. Nice block downfield by Jeff Fain, the center. Sean Taylor saves probably a touchdown here. That's the burst that Lee Suggs can give you. That's the difference in style between him and William Green.
He averaged over 7 yards per carry during the preseason.
But he was explosive in the preseason, but you always kind of caution that because it's preseason football.
From the 19, Garcia lobbing one up, intended for Dennis Northcutt. And there is a flag, potentially a late hit on Garcia by the strong safety Matt Bowen.
I said that everybody could be a rusher in that Redskins defense.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 41. 15-yard penalty on a first down.
Matt Bowen's going to be coming right here, right to the front of Garcia, went right for his head.
Only the second penalty by the Redskins defense in 4 games.
Yeah, you know, they didn't have any penalties on defense the first 2 weeks. Then they had one last week. That one was hat-to-hat. Matt Bowen's check might be a little lighter this week.
Redskins have already been penalized 4 times today for 40 yards. First and 10 from the 14. Here's Suggs. Down to the 8. Big Redskins fan as a youngster. His favorite player was wide receiver Gary Clark. Excited to play against the Redskins today.
Oh, yeah, from Roanoke, Virginia. You know, grew up idolizing the burgundy and gold, knew all about Joe Gibbs. And, yeah, what a treat it was for him here to finally suit up. You know, he had a neck stinger in the preseason, and they've been cautious about it. And they don't know how many carries he can have today and how much that neck can hold up. But right now, the way he's running, I think they're going to have a hard time getting him out of there.
From the 9, Suggs lost the football. Looked like he may have gotten tangled up with his own left tackle, Ross Verba.
They got some good penetration inside that time from the Redskins. It's like, see just some penetration right here, real quick, upfield. Ron Warner in there, and a good job coming back from that little banging him his knee up in that first series.
Steve Hyden, tight end, on the recovery.
Browns who haven't scored a point in the first quarter here. About 30 seconds to try to do that this year.
Garcia can't find it, one downfield, now rolling to his right. And now fires. Incomplete, it was bobbled by Andre Davis in the end zone.
Well, that's vintage Garcia right there. I mean, nobody really can make a play last longer in this league than Garcia, but what he said he's having trouble with is just trying to figure out what his receivers do well and where they're at on the field. I mean, if this was San Francisco, you can bet that T.O. would have found that ball a lot quicker than that. Would have come back in his vision and scrambled to come back to the football. That's a nice throw. Pinpointed throw right in the corner of the end zone. Andre Davis lost control of that ball when he hit the ground.
Instead, Phil Dawson will look to make it 18 in a row. This a 30-yard attempt. The Browns have their first points in the first quarter this season, but they have still not scored a first half touchdown. We are tied at 3.
Browns trying to score that first touchdown in the first half this year. Garcia always remains a passer, does not want to run with the football, and you'll see it on this play here. He's trying to keep this play alive as long as he possibly can. Well covered here, he goes to left, he comes back, and now guys have to get hungry. Guys got to get aggressive back to the football here. Come back and help out the quarterback. Something that he was used to in San Francisco, and he's trying to teach his guys here in Cleveland to do.
This is Mike Sellers on the return of the short kickoff for the Redskins. Brings it back to the 34-yard line.
You know, the head coach and the quarterback, they have to be intertwined. They've got to be best friends. And I think Garcia is trying to blend right now. He's sitting with his quarterback coach right there, Hagan. He's trying to blend his talents and strengths with what Butch Davis wants to do. And they've had some philosophical differences. Last week against the Giants, Garcia wanted 5 receivers out. He didn't care if they could block Mike Strahan or not. Well, Robisky and Butch Davis, they wanted to protect him, and they kept extra blockers in to do that, and he didn't have enough receivers out there to find.
Strahan finished the game with 2 sacks. Portis cuts to the outside, a penalty marker. As Portis gains 5 out to the 38.
So he's going to be against the Redskins.
That is their 5th penalty of this first quarter. 4 of the 5 against the offense.
Joe Gibbs said that it was a rough week. I mean, he didn't sleep after the game Monday night.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding. Offense number 67.
Ray Brown.
Penalties decline. Tripping. Offense number 47. A 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Chris Cooley.
You know, what happens to a guy like Joe Gibbs and any really conscientious football player is that when you make a mistake and you have a bad game, those plays that were bad, all it is, you just review those in your head on a video loop all night long. And you can't sleep because all you want to do is try to correct those mistakes.
I don't think Gibbs gets much sleep after wins. First quarter has come to an end here in Cleveland. Redskins and Browns, 9-3.
About your financial future.
Unclear.
Focused.
Uncertain.
What if you could feel differently?
Optimistic.
Focused.
Confident.
Hopeful.
In control.
Smart.
Supported.
Able to sleep. At peace.
Prepared.
On target. What if someone could help you feel this way? Someone who's helping over 2 million people feel this way. Wouldn't you listen? The personal financial advisors of American Express.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Redskins and Browns tied at 3 as we get ready for the start of quarter 2 here in Cleveland. Kenny Albert with Brian Baldinger and Jake Glazer. Redskins, Brian, 76 yards of offense in the first quarter, but 5 penalties, 50 yards.
Yeah, going backwards.
1st and 20 following the latest penalty from the 23. And Brunell's pass incomplete off the fingertips of the tight end Walter Rasby as we say hello for the first time today. A man who has the Redskins close to his heart, DC native James Brown.
And hello to you, Kenny, as we take a look at Kurt Warner. Hey, Kenny throwing his first pick of the season. That picked off by Darren Sharper. Squandered opportunity there. Then Green Bay looks as if they're driving for a score. And Amon Green plagued by fumbles. Fumbles here. New York has it back, but guess what? It's still no score. Back to Kenny Albert.
All right, thanks, JB. And Portis hit for a loss by the former Redskin Kennard Lang.
Yeah, Kennard Lang is a character. Now, he's a former #1 draft pick of the Redskins. Had a couple of good years up there playing the right end right here. Getting hit by Walter Rasby. Spins, stays on his feet. He's having a good season. He's got 4 sacks this year already. Had 3 in that opening win against the Ravens. And you're saying in Washington, they changed coaches like socks. You know, I mean, he was up there, you know, during, you know, Norv Turner and Terry Robisky and Schottenheimer and the whole group up there. I don't think they'll be changing coaches like socks anymore.
Third down and 25. Liddell Betts as the Redskins keep it on the ground, and he's brought down at the 23 by Andre Davis, so the Redskins will punt it away.
Yeah, and that was a nice play that time by Kennard Lang. I mean, he read this play perfectly. It's a counter. They pull Chris Samuels, and he catches it from behind. He slows Liddell Betts down a little bit. He's the one that got the early penetration on that play. Good scouting report, I think, that week. I mean, he knows the counter is coming. Come to him and away from him, and he read that perfectly.
I think that was the quote of the weekend. Redskins changed coaches like socks. Northcutt had that 44-yard return earlier. Penalty marker. Brought down at the 42. 15-yard return, 52-yard punt by Tupa.
Good job, Mike. Make it happen, Mike.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 51 on the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's Sean Thompson, the first penalty against the Browns this afternoon. There it is on Mike Sellers.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by the new Chevrolets. 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months, an American revolution. By Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar, eating good in the neighborhood, Applebee's. By Circuit City, for the hottest new technology, think Circuit City. Just what I needed. And by Intel Centrino Mobile Technology.
Tied at 3, early second quarter. Worst starting field position of the day for the Browns from their own 18-yard line. Garcia airing it out, and the catch is made by Andre Davis at the Redskins 45. A 37-yard pass play.
Boy, they picked up the blitz that time of Matt Bowen. Garcia stepped up. It looked like a good offensive play here from Cleveland. Watch the protection here against Bowen. Coming on the outside, Garcia feels it, steps up. Little pump fake. I don't know if he even saw the completion. He dropped this one right out of the sky. Fred Smoot can't figure out how the ball got past him.
There's Suggs. Gain of just 1, brought down by Matt Bowen.
Well, I think that if this offense is going to get going, that Garcia has got to get the ball to these wide receivers. And I still remember, Kenny, just 2 years ago, when Cleveland was in the playoffs at Pittsburgh in that wild card game. Kelly Holcomb was the quarterback, and these receivers, Andre King, Northcutt, Quincy Morgan, they lit Pittsburgh up for over 400 yards in the passing game that day, and I thought that day these receivers are pretty good, and you got to get the ball to them on the outside. Points come out of the passing game in this league.
Here's Suggs, no gain. Holcomb passed for 429 yards in that game against the Steelers, and the Browns, who have struggled in the first quarter over the first 3 weeks. Well, those struggles continue today.
Yeah, they do. I mean, you know, just still 3 points this year in the first quarter, so they've gotten off to sluggish starts. Well, maybe that pass right there by Garcia down the field to his wide receiver against good coverage, maybe that will kind of jumpstart things a little bit.
They have yet to score a touchdown in the first half this season.
This is when the Redskins love to blitz. One of these guys or two of these guys are going to drop out. Everybody else is coming.
Garcia slips, gets back up, and then took a hit from Sean Springs.
It was a late flag on that, too. Greg Williams loves to come after you on 2nd and 3rd and long. Expect a blitz, and any one of those defenders can come after you. Their whole concept is to try to make the quarterback as uncomfortable as possible.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 5. 10-yard penalty and a loss of down. 4th down.
So the Browns will punt, and Greg Williams has had great success, Brian, as coordinator in Tennessee and then head coach in Buffalo. His defense last year ranked 2nd in the league.
Yeah, in fact, Joe Gibbs, the day he was hired, flew to Buffalo in a snowstorm went up and met Greg Williams about midnight in Buffalo, had about a 4-hour conversation, and signed him that night. The fact that he was on everybody's short list to be their defensive coordinator was enough for Joe Gibbs, who didn't know him, to go find him and sign him.
A flag on the punt. 43-yard punt by Frost.
Well, both these teams have been guilty of some bad football in the first half through the first quarter of the season.
6 men on the line of scrimmage for the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
So Frost, who leads the NFL in net punting yardage, will do it again following the 3rd Browns penalty.
Remember Frost last week had a heck of a tackle, didn't he? Against the Giants. It looked like he could have been a good special teamer. Thrash returning this punt for Washington with the injury to Chad Morton.
Fair catch at the 22. 38-yard punt. Browns not able to capitalize following this 37-yard pass play from Garcia to Davis. Brian, did you have a chance to visit the dog pound today?
Yeah, and you know, and I remember Cleveland Municipal Stadium when Bones and batteries would come out of there. Nobody's throwing anything anymore, but they're just as rowdy as ever.
From the 22 on 1st down, Portis up the middle, gains 8. Out to the 30, where he was finally brought down by Tyrone Rogers, setting up 2nd and 2.
Yeah, you know, the thing that Brunell talked about was that he likes about this offense is that it is a running offense, and everything is play action off of that. And that's what's been missing here so far this afternoon, is any kind of play action to get the ball down the field to either Gardner or Coles.
Brunell's longest completion today has been just 11 yards. He's completed 7 of 10 pass attempts. 2nd and 2. Portis close to the 1st.
You know, Portis hasn't broken a long run really since that first run against Tampa Bay, and you just wonder when the next one is going to happen. And you can't script long runs. They happen when you execute and when you create big holes, and then everything just works together. Receivers get blocks downfield, but if you keep hammering the middle of the line like he is right now, he's going to come out of here with a big run here today.
His first carry as a Redskin, a 64-yard touchdown run against the Buccaneers Week 1. Play action, Brunell rolling left, and the pass is caught by the tight end Walter Rasby for a 1st down out at the 46-yard line. Gain of 13.
This is when Brunell is most comfortable, when he's faking his way and coming back to his left. I don't know what it is about left-handed athletes, but they always look like that's all they have. You know, like basketball players, you know, that shoot the ball left-handed. They never look like they do anything with the right-handed. I think it's just that in football, it's only Mike Vick right now and Mark Brunell who are left-handed quarterbacks. You just don't see him very often in the game.
Portis. No gain. Orpheus Roy made the tackle.
Most of the plays for Brunell will go to his left. Play action passes, bootlegs will go to the left. So if you're the quarterback over there, Anthony Henry, defending that, you got to expect a big day and a lot of action. Right now, Brunell clearly more comfortable outside of the pocket. 5 and 7, and then a lot more going to his left than to his right.
Second and 11 from the 45. Portis. Nice tackle, Anthony Henry. Gain of just 2. Putting the Redskins in a 3rd and long. 3rd down and 9 coming up.
That counter play, that's a misdirection play where Portis steps right and then comes back to his left. And the Redskins are pulling people. You're going to see, here comes Randy Thomas here. And what happens is this backside trailer gets knocked off by penetration. Penetration by the defensive line will slow that and destroy that play. See Walter Rasby trying to pull around. He gets bumped off, so they don't get the extra blocker out in front of Portis.
3 wide receivers. Betts the lone back. Redskins have to get to the Browns 44. Brunell with time, and the pass caught for a first down by Lavernius Coles down at the 41-yard line.
I tell you, Brunell had a lot of time, and he got time because of a smart little play by Liddell Betts. Watch Betts right here, chip this end right here. See, he gets a chip on Kennard Lang. That allowed Brunell to have that extra second to go down the field. Joe Gibbs, in his style of offense, is always going to protect his quarterback as much as he can. I think they've already given up more sacks this year than they gave up in his last Super Bowl run in 1991 through the whole season.
Only 9 sacks allowed by the Redskins during that entire 91 season. From the 41, Brunell again with time and throws it out of bounds. The intended receiver was the rookie Chris Cooley.
That time again, Brunell protected. It was one of those throwaway passes by Brunell, but watch here. You get a double team on the outside. Here comes Kennard Lang. You know, you get the guard, you get the running back there. They're all got an eye on Lang, and Lang said, he goes, man, it's going to be a long day. I'm going to get hit by 2 or 3 guys every single play. Might be hard to get sacks in this game.
Lang with 3 sacks against the Ravens week 1, 4 in all, second in the NFL. From the 41, on 2nd and 10, Brunell takes off. There's not too much running these days. Gets down to the 38-yard line before he was brought down by Earl Little.
Well, he said, you know, he's got a left hamstring that's still bothering him. In fact, he didn't practice much of last week getting ready for that Monday night game. Really questionable whether he was going to start that or not. And he said he got really tired on him in the second half. In fact, they kept running him, bootlegging him and moving him. And he was a little surprised knowing that you need a lot of treatment on that leg. It's still not completely healthy yet.
Told us last night it's better, but not 100%. 9th play of the drive coming up. Redskins have to get to the 31 for a first down. Again looking for Cooley. Kevin Bentley on the coverage.
Well, the coverage is good because they're protecting Brunell, but downfield, because of the protection, the extra protection needed for Brunell, they only have 3 receivers out in the route, and they've covered all 3 receivers. Cooley, the rookie, along with Lavernius Coles. Coles is already pointing to illegal contact that somebody bumped him going out of his route.
Looks like the Redskins will go for it on 4th down. It would be about a 54-yard field goal attempt. 4th and 6.
Get this play off in a hurry. They don't get it.
Brunell calls timeout with the play clock winding down. Just over 6 minutes remaining in the first half here in Cleveland.
Well, I think Joe Gibbs is going to get scrutinized heavily here, burning this timeout on this 4th down play in light of what happened Monday night, where he burned 2 timeouts trying to get the right formations on the field in the 3rd quarter. And oh, how they would have liked to have had one at the end of that game on Monday night.
4th down and 6. Redskins must get to the 31 for a first down. Thrash in motion. Brunell off his back foot. It's complete. First down and more. Lavernius Coles all the way down to the Browns 7. He needed 6 yards, and he gained 30.
Well, the Browns came after Brunell that time. They wanted to pressure him as quickly as possible. They blitzed both safeties, so there's nobody in the middle of the field. And Lavernius Coles put a move on Anthony Henry with no help. Brunell saw it. I don't think anybody will be mentioning that timeout that they just burned to be able to convert that 4th down play. Excellent call and execution by the Redskins, beating the blitz.
Sets up a 1st and goal from the Cleveland 7. Portis. Close to the goal line, no signal, stop just short.
Now this is where the Redskins have bogged down this year, Kenny. I mean, we were talking about before the game, the chances they've had down here inside You know, the 5-yard line this year where they haven't scored touchdowns. When they had 1st and goal on Monday night against the Cowboys and didn't score, they had only kicked a field goal.
Two tight ends set. From the 1. Portis. He is in for the touchdown.
That drive kept alive by a gutsy call of Joe Gibbs on 4th and 6. Huge execution by Brunell, and then Clinton Portis said scoring touchdowns down on the goal line is nothing but a mentality. And he wants the ball down there in that part of the field.
Second touchdown of the season for Portis. He told us last night our goal line mentality must be 7 points, not 3. Well, the Redskins get 7. A 12-play, 78-yard drive, culminating with Clinton Portis reaching the end zone from 1 yard out. 10-3 Redskins. Clinton Portis, 29 touchdowns in 2 seasons as a Bronco, as his second as a Washington Redskin.
Well, it's the second since that first run of the season against Tampa, going 64 yards, right behind right guard Randy Thomas that day.
Dee Brown on the return. Penalty marker. Brown out to the 29. You would think that Portis would need oxygen after the 64-yard touchdown run, not the 1-yard TD run.
Sometimes those 1-yard runs are tougher. You got to bang yourself through more bodies. A perfect day out here in Cleveland. Good view of the lake, no clouds in the sky. Great day for football. Bad day yesterday in the state of Ohio. Buckeyes losing to Northwestern. They're trying to salvage their football weekend here in Cleveland today. Hadn't lost in Evanston, Illinois since I think President Roosevelt was in office.
Which one?
Teddy. They have the same frustrations that on their offense in Columbus that Garcia is experiencing here in Cleveland.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Offside on the kicking team. Holding during the return. Those penalties offset. Cleveland has elected the option to re-kick.
So John Hall will kick it off again. Well, continuing on your State of Ohio theme, the Bengals trail the Steelers 14-10.
Yeah, big game in the AFC North. Cleveland fans will be looking at that. The Baltimore Ravens, other team in the AFC North, played tomorrow night, hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Trying to throw a little dirt in the grave of the Kansas City Chiefs.
How about the Packers involved in that shootout with the Colts last week? Today, 2 minutes to go first half. Packers and Giants scoreless.
Yep. Kurt Warner looking very good in that win against Cleveland last week. That offensive line protected him, got the ball down the field. Brown fans sitting on their hands right now, waiting for something to get them off their feet. I mean, really, you got a sold-out stadium, and I don't know if you can get a lot more quieter. It's like they're listening to a presidential debate here or something. Not a lot to get excited about. Vice presidential debate comes to Cleveland on Tuesday at Case Western University. Dick Cheney, John Edwards coming to town. I don't really give him a charge here, huh?
It's been a big weekend here in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen in town last night.
Yeah, you know, Clarence Clemens, the saxophone player, actually tried out for the Browns.
Is that right?
Yeah, back in another era.
From the 12, Dee Brown. Reverse. This is Lewis Sanders out of the University of Maryland. And he brings it out to the 30-yard line. We check in once again with James Brown in Los Angeles. JB.
Hey, Kenny, take a look at the league-leading duo here. Donovan McNabb with an excellent throw between the corner and the safety. That hooking up with Terrell Owens. Their 6th leading touchdown. That is NFL leading. And, of course, Terrell Owens is in good shape. They're up 13-0. Hey, nice to throw it back to a politically astute and erudite crew, Kenny, Brian, and Jay.
Boy, JB, how much would Garcia like to have Terrell Owens in his offense right now? That's a 6th touchdown catch of the season.
William Green out to the 33, a gain of 4. As we check in down on the field with Jay Glazer. Jay.
Hello, boys. How you doing up there today? You guys have been talking a lot about Jeff Garcia and the problems with his offense. Well, that's not lost on the Washington Redskins. Right before this game, the Redskins defensive coordinator, Greg Williams, actually told me that he's going to tell his guys, go after Garcia, but I don't want him out of this game. He has that much respect for Kelly Holcomb. He saw him a lot when he was the head coach of the Bills. So, again, you don't hear a head coach, coordinator actually admitting that, but he said, guys, go after him, but keep him in the game. Back to you.
And remember, Garcia was sacked on the first play from scrimmage today by Ron Warner.
Well, you know, Garcia is having problems here, and it starts with the basics. I mean, the terminology of the offense is confusing to him. In fact, his favorite play isn't even in the Cleveland Browns playbook. It's a flanker drive from his days in San Francisco. And he said, you know, when I was in San Francisco, I knew where everybody was. When I came to the line of scrimmage, I didn't have to think about what the play meant, how to call it. I could read a defense, diagnose what the defense is doing, and I can't do that right now. I'm trying to remember where everybody is, what I'm supposed to do on the play, and that's not my job. I should be telling everybody what to do, and I should know everybody's job.
3rd down and 1. Garcia taken down. The 2nd sack for the Redskins. It's Demetric Evans.
I mean, this is just more confusion. I mean, Garcia stays in the pocket here. The Redskins want to bottle him up, not let him step up, and that's what they do right there with Joe Salavea in the middle, not allowing Garcia to step up in order to escape. It was a big part of the game plan of Greg Williams this week. So when Garcia escapes, when he attacks the pocket, he's much more effective as a passer.
Derek Frost's punt taken at the 21 by James Thrash. 12-yard return out to the 33. 44-yard punt by Frost.
I think we've had a penalty on every special team play so far today.
And it seems like that has been the case in every game we've seen this year.
After the run was down, personal foul, number 59 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty and a 1st down.
That's Kevin Bentley, obviously very excited about his alma mater, Northwestern.
Well, I tell you, Butch Davis wasn't excited about that at all.
Well, the last time a Redskins team visited Cleveland, Brian, John Riggins gained 112 yards. Redskins won the game 14-7 the year 1985.
Yeah. Right in the heyday there, the Gibbs and the Hogs and everything going on well inside the Beltway of Washington.
Redskins leading this game today 10-3. Liddell Betts giving Portis a blow, and Betts gains 2 up to midfield.
Well, I think if Cleveland is going to rock today, they're going to have to rock something on the defensive side of the ball. And you know, Mark Brunell, throughout his history, being a left-hander, the ball can get away from Mark sometimes. And, you know, the defensive backs have got to be patient. There's going to be a ball at some time today that's going to be an interceptable ball, and they have to be ready for it.
Redskins take it down to the 2-minute warning. Clinton Portis with the game's only touchdown. Redskins on top by 7.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Saturn. people first.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have the latest scores and highlights from around the NFL. And the Fox Sports Ticker will keep you updated with up to the second stats. That's coming up on the Visa Halftime Report. Redskins with 2 timeouts. 2nd and 8 from midfield. Brunell can't find anyone. Directing his receivers and then throws it out of bounds.
Brunell was in trouble that time, and he was trying to look for Lavernius Coles, but he had stepped out of bounds. He was an ineligible receiver. Watch Coles here. He comes back to the football, but he comes from out of bounds, and it would have been an illegal touch. See, he stepped out of bounds there. Receivers got to know where they're at on the field. When Brunell saw that, he just threw that ball away.
Now 3rd and 8. Redskins must get to the 42 for a first down. Brunell with time. Incomplete. Intended for Lavernius Coles.
Well, Lavernius Coles is just having a tough go, period. You know, I mean, he's got a bad toe. He's got a dislocated finger, and they keep coming to him. And nobody feels worse about the drops he had last Monday night or that one there on 3rd down than Lavernius Coles. And the offense goes through him. He's their #1 read on most of the downfield routes. That time, Brunell threw the ball pretty well to him.
Tupa back at his own 35. Dennis Northcutt back deep for the Browns. Northcutt lets it go, bounces into the end zone for a touchback. So the Browns, with all 3 timeouts, will start from their own 20. Well, the baseball divisional playoffs begin here on Fox Tuesday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. You will either see the Yankees against the Twins or the Angels, or Game 1 of a National League Division Series. Right here on Fox, Tuesday, 8 Eastern, Game 1 of the Major League Baseball playoffs.
Boy, you know, the fans in Washington got baseball coming back. They've been gone for a long time, the Washington Senators. And in fact, Joe Gibbs was happy that baseball came back this week. He said it kind of took the pressure off of losing to the Cowboys on Monday night.
Garcia on 1st down. Lee Suggs tackled at the 23-yard line by Kennard Lang.
Flag down for that play.
Well, the city of Cleveland did not have to wait nearly as long to get a football team back as Washington had to wait for a baseball team.
6 men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Cleveland went 3 years without an NFL team. For Washington, it's been 33 years since the Senators moved to Texas.
Some old days from the Washington Senators. A couple names, remember, Carmen Killebrew, Frank Howard, a couple big hitters there.
Ted Williams,
of course.
managed the Senators. Of course, the new Washington club coming down from Montreal will play in the Redskins' former home, RFK Stadium. Clock running on the Browns. They do have all 3 timeouts, but there does not seem to be any sense of urgency.
Well, you know, if I was Washington, they've got 2 timeouts left. I'd think about stopping the clock and getting the ball back the way they have it pinned down here right now.
Redskins have control of the football for over 18 minutes.
Oh, that was ugly.
What was that?
Ball came right out of Garcia's hands. And really, I think the Brown fans have been patient all day. I mean, about as patient as they can get, but this is a bad operation. Yeah, that ball just slipped out of Garcia's hands.
Whatever happened to you in the backyard?
Yeah, but I mean, I wasn't in front of 60,000+ fans here. Kelly Holcomb looking on.
Third down and 16. Pass complete. Northcutt not nearly enough for a first down, and about 6 Redskins race over to call timeout.
Well, the Redskins are dictating this entire game, and they're stopping Cleveland on first down, and then they're coming after them on second and third down, and their game plan is working to a T.
Chicken, like the grilled shrimp, please. I like skillet sensations.
You're back at Applebee's.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
41 seconds remaining. First half. Redskins use their second timeout prior to this Cleveland punt. Browns have had 6 offensive possessions. They've gone 3 and out 3 times. Also lost a fumble.
Well,
no Browns possession, Brian, has gone more than 5 plays.
Well, there's been no improvement from the first half last week, where they punted the first 5 times. They had the ball and then threw an interception on the last 2.
The punt by Frost out of bounds at the 27. 48-yard kick. So the Redskins with 34 seconds remaining in the half. They have 1 timeout. And they'll need to go about 45 yards to get into field goal range for John Hall.
Butch Davis going over and giving the offensive line a mouthful over there. And I'm sure that will continue in the locker room at halftime. First 6 possessions for that Cleveland offense is awful. I mean, 4 punts, a fumble, and a lone field goal. Field goal, though, was in the first quarter, right? So that was, they got points in the first quarter for the first time this year. Redskins are going to take a knee here and go to the locker room and regroup.
So the Browns have still not scored a touchdown in the first half in any of their 4 games. Boos raining down from the crowd here at Cleveland Browns Stadium. But I guess the good news from a Browns perspective, they trail by only 7.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, they played pretty well.
The only touchdown in the first half, a 1-yard scoring run by Clinton Portis through in the second quarter, which gave the Redskins a 10-3 lead after the teams exchanged field goals in the first quarter. So at the half, it's the Redskins 10 and the Browns 3. Fox NFL Sunday continues in a moment.
The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game.
High drive, deep right center field, and it is gone. Walk-off grand slam by Steve Finley, and the Dodgers are champions of the National League West. Can you believe this finish?
Steve Finley capping off a 7-run ninth inning for the Dodgers, who wrapped up the NL West Division title. The excitement continues in the postseason. Division Series play on Fox starting Tuesday, October the 5th at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. And it all begins with the all-new Dodge Dakota pregame show here on Fox, as we welcome you into the studio and our Visa halftime, Washington and Cleveland. And we do have an injury report to give along to you. And it has nothing to do with the Washington Redskins. Mark Brunell looking pretty impressive. Portis with a touchdown, but it's the injury to Terry Bradshaw. Go, Brian.
Yeah, but I play hurt. Took a shot at halftime. Brunell takes a shot. Deep crossing route, Lavernius Coles. 30-yard gain, and then from the end zone, watch this. Out of the single back, off left tackle. Clinton Portis in from 1 yard out, 10-3. Washington on the road over Cleveland. Tiki Barber, who did not start this game, Ron Bain did. I don't know why, but I'm going to find out. Helmet taken off by James Wheatley. 15-yard penalty keeps the drive alive. Actually ends up being a 78-yard drive. 3rd and goal. Kurt Warner staring down the tight end Shockey, and you just can't do that. He knows better than that. You hold the ball that long, you bring everybody over, they watch your eyes. Darren Sharper there picks it off, and it's no score in that exciting giant Green Bay game. All right, Philadelphia and Chicago. Donovan McNabb flushed out of the pocket, chased down, sacked by Alex Brown. Why did we show you that?
I have no idea either.
Second quarter, R.W. McQuarters muffs the punt. Actually, his own man, Nathan Vassar, a rookie, knocked him off the ball. Donnie Jones recovers for Philadelphia. Eagles up by 6 until the quick slant to Terrell Owens, his 6th touchdown reception of the year. What's he doing? 2 tubby, 3 tubby. All right, there it is, 16-0. It is Philly over
Give
Chicago.
Terry Bradshaw a little credit. He picked the Buffalo Bills to upend the New England Patriots. Only halftime, no, 17-10 in that one. Raiders have lost 10 consecutive road games. Right now, knotted up with the Texans at 17-0. Ben Roethlisberger, the youngster, first start at home. Steelers nursing a 4-point lead over the Bengals. And the Jaguars have only scored 38 points so far this season. They're trailing the coach, Marvin Harrison, with the touchdown there. Terry is injured, but let me go to Howie and talk about Washington's offense.
Well, one thing they wanted to shore up was their pass protection. I think they did that. Matter of fact, on that big blitz, they hit Coles for that big gain. Coles struggled last week, injured hand. Caught a number of balls, 5 for 65 today. I think they've kind of gotten a little balance in that offense back. 17 runs, 17 passes.
Yeah, and I think that Mark Brunell's comfortable with the offense. They did not turn the ball over. It's looking closer to the offense that we saw the opening week against Tampa Bay. I think the coaching staff, you know, they understand the players. They understand what they have. And like you say, they've got balance. They're running the football, looking like a good football team.
They pared the offense back a little bit this week.
Let me elaborate just a bit more. Would you mind kissing Terry's hand? He's hurt.
He smacked my hand. I had my hand like this, and he smacked my hand. And let me let all of you know one thing. Neither Jimmy nor Howie have watched one play of that Washington game. I'm the only one that's watched it, and they wouldn't even allow me the opportunity to talk about it, and I'm not happy right now.
Visa halftime continues.
I am not happy.
Washington Redskins leading the Cleveland Browns by the score of 10-3. The Ohio State University Band performing at halftime here at Cleveland Browns Stadium. We'll return with first half stats and highlights right after these messages.
You're watching Fox Sports. Broadcasting in 720p and Dolby 5.1, the world's finest high-definition standard.
Starts now in your own backyard, in your own hometown. So what you do is spinning around, just follow your heart. Your revolution starts now. Yeah, the revolution starts now in your own backyard, in your own hometown. What you do is spin around, just follow your heart. Your revolution.
Well, that's what it looks like in high def as we welcome you back to Cleveland. Kenny Albert with Brian Baldinger. And the key play, Brian, in that first half, which led to the game's only touchdown, Redskins going for it on 4th and 6.
Well, I think that, yeah, they were aggressive on 4th and 6. They complete the 30-yard pass to Lavernius Coles, and that set up the one touchdown in his game here. Redskins took a timeout, got the play set. Cleveland blitzed him, and really, I think that's what the second half is going to be about. Clinton Cornish here, gets the 1-yard touchdown run, but who's going to be more aggressive? And then which team can sustain offense? I mean, really, the Redskins have been all right on offense. They got 150 yards. They've controlled the clock. But they've really shut the Browns down from running the football right now. That's what they wanted to do. They want to make it a one-dimensional game. Cleveland's going to have to come out and get things done in the passing game if they're going to win this game and if they're going to be any kind of a player this season. And that means Jeff Garcia is going to have to play better.
Our FoxSports.com fantasy update. Brunell 101 yards in the air in the first half. Portis 44 yards in the game's only touchdown. And Lavernius Coles with a big first half, 4 receptions, 65 yards.
Really neither back. I mean, that Lee Suggs, that 25 yards was all on one run.
Browns just 97 total yards on offense, 62 of the 97 on 2 big plays. That run by Suggs and the 37-yard pass from Garcia to Andre Davis. Phil Dawson kicks off to begin this second half. James Thrash. And Thrash brings it out to the 25. 15-yard return. Chris Crocker brought him down.
Well, if you take a look at how the quarterbacks did, the two 34-year-old free agent quarterbacks did in the first half, Brunell was better. You know, and the big thing is he didn't turn the ball over, and that's really what Joe Gibbs wants. So he's managing the offense right now. Made a couple plays down the field. Garcia clearly not comfortable in any part of this offense, in his offense, and I think a big factor is the loss of Kellen Winslow. I mean, Kellen Winslow against Dallas got hurt, but 18 of the 27 pass plays that day were supposed to go to Kellen Winslow.
Wow.
And most of the offense was put in for him.
Broke his leg during an onside kick.
Just a freak accident.
Redskins start 1st and 10 from the 25. The give to Portis. And he fumbled, lost the football, and the Browns have recovered. The 4th fumble this season by Portis. He's lost 3 of the 4, and it's recovered by Michael Myers.
Yeah, and it's just careless football at this point. See, just running a weak side inside zone play here. Yeah, Michael Myers he was the only guy that tackled him and the only guy that stripped it loose. Usually when the ball gets stripped, it's because 3 or 4 guys are making the tackle. And the knee didn't hit the ground because Myers pulled him over the top of it. Ooh, I think they're trying to challenge, huh? Possibly.
Portis not ruled down by contact, so the Redskins can challenge whether or not he was down. Replay challenge is a big part of the Redskins game on Monday night against Dallas.
Washington has challenged the ruling on the field, but the ball was fumbled.
Well, here's the thing. Butch Davis has got to be irate that they didn't get this play in on time before the challenge. Remember, it was ruled a fumble, so the evidence has to be conclusive that Clinton Portis' knee was down before the ball came out. Or some other body part, an elbow. Ball looked like it was out. Butch Davis.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
We await the ruling from Ron Winter on the challenge.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. The ball carrier was down on top of players and the ball came loose. Washington is charged with a timeout.
See what Ron said? He said the ball carrier was on top of the defender, which means he isn't down. You're going to see it here. Portis lands on the top of Michael Myers. The ball comes out right here. And that's the right call. Joe Gibbs has a replay coach upstairs that examines those plays, whether they should challenge them or not. Larry Hill does that for him.
Garcia complete to Steve Hyden. Knocked out of bounds by Sean Taylor. Hyden picks up the first down.
Garcia's told us on Friday when we met with him, we talked to him for about a half hour, that he needs more of his plays in the offense. And one of those plays is play action. And at halftime, I can guarantee you that Garcia sat down with Terry Robisky, the offensive coordinator, and said, we got to put my type of plays in. The first play here is a play action bootleg. We got out of the pocket, an easy pitch and catch for him. Terry Robisky right here, former Redskin head coach, interim head coach back in 2000 for 3 games.
I got you.
That was only the 4th first down picked up by the Browns today. And this is the fullback, Terrell Smith, the former New Orleans Saint, gaining 4 down to the 15. So could that fumble by Portis be the break that the Browns needed to get this offense on track with a short field?
Well, and they have to execute. They got to execute. They have to punch the ball in to tie this thing up. You know, to give this stadium some life, to give the team some life.
And there's a look at Smith, who caught that last pass. How much do they miss him in New Orleans?
Well, they're still crying. I mean, Deuce McAllister still crying about the loss of Terrell Smith. I don't think they're using him effectively here. He's a punishing blocker.
Second down and 6. Lee Suggs. No gain on the play. Ronaldo Wynn, first Redskin in on the tackle.
Well, I tell you, this Redskin defense came in today after 3 weeks, ranked #1 in the National Football League against the run. Total yards given up and then yards per carry, all the different stats about it. And they're living up to that today. And it's kind of amazing. They're without LeVar Arrington. They've got guys like Ron Warner, who's bounced around this league, only making his second start in the NFL. Antonio Pierce, a backup special team player playing middle linebacker. But Greg Williams has put them into a real good scheme here.
Third down and 6. Garcia. Wide open. Aaron Shea. Touchdown.
Well, Garcia ran his offense on that series. After the turnover, that was 3 bootlegs, rolling him out, inviting the blitz, buying some time, and then dumping the ball off. I mean, you could just say bootleg right, bootleg right. You don't have to get caught up with some of the terminology that trips him up.
Phil Dawson adds the extra point for Aaron Shea, his first touchdown since his rookie season back in 2000. Browns capitalize on the Portis turnover. Aaron Shea, the fifth-year tight end out of University of Michigan, he has finished each of his first 4 seasons on injured reserve. Scores the touchdown for the Browns. Tie this game at 10.
They're trying to pick up that slack of the loss of Kellen Winslow, who was going to be a big part of this offense this year.
A huge part.
Huge.
Coming out of the end zone, James Thrash. Bottled up at the 14-yard line. Lee Bodden on the special teams tackle for the Browns.
Look at this last series by Jeff Garcia. 3 for 3, 3 bootlegs to the right to 3 different receivers. Got one to Hyde and one to Terrell Smith, and then the touchdown here to Aaron Shea. I mean, if it works, why stop? And here it is. They invited the blitz. They came after him. They had the perfect play on against that blitz. I think this whole energy in this stadium changed with the Ohio State band at halftime. That got these fans excited.
And then a Michigan guy scores the touchdown.
How about that, huh?
From the 14, Brunell for the tight end, Walter Rasby. Brought down at the 20 after a gain of 6 by Kevin Bentley, setting up second down and 4.
Well, there wasn't a whole lot of to get excited about in that first half. This band, I mean, that Ohio State band dotted the I here at halftime, and yeah, got the tubas out there in unison. Good precision, a little bit like that last drive by the Cleveland Browns. Good precision.
Got me fired up.
Yeah.
Second down and 4. Brunell complete to Thrash. Looks to be about a yard shy of the first down marker. Chris Crocker made the tackle.
Redskins going back to that no-huddle offense here. Really takes just about as much time in this no-huddle. This is not a hurry-up. They're just doing everything at the line of scrimmage, trying to not let the Browns do any kind of substitution. The hard part of this right here is just communicating the signal to everybody in a noisy stadium.
Portis on 3rd and 1, and he is stopped. Kevin Bentley, along with Andre Davis, combining on the tackle, forcing the Redskins to punt.
Well, it looks to me like Cleveland came out of the locker room ready to play the second half, and it started with the defense, but shutting Clinton Portis down on his favorite play, just to stretch to the outside, never allowing that speed to get working, is huge. That's an underrated middle linebacker, too, in this league, that Andre Davis.
Kansas City Chiefs know what Davis can do. He had 4 sacks in one game against KC last year. Dennis Northcutt from the 29. 9-yard return out to the 38. Browns have some life. They've tied it at 10. Well, Brian, it's October, and that means one thing, Major League Baseball playoffs, and it all gets underway on Fox this Tuesday, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. You will see either the Yankees in their opener against the Twins or the Angels, or Game 1 of one of the National League Division Series. That's coming up Tuesday on Fox. No gain on first down for Lee Suggs.
Yeah, how about congratulations to Anaheim, to the Dodgers, clinching a playoff spot. How about Minnesota yesterday? The Twins were playing and are in the 12th inning, tied 5-5 up there. They had to stop the game to get ready for a Big Ten game with the Gophers. Only one stadium, 2 games to play. They kicked the Twins off the turf.
And the Twins did win that game. That suspended game by a 6-5 score earlier today. Garcia goes down for the 3rd time today. Ronaldo Wynn on the sack for the Redskins. As we check in with James Brown in Los Angeles.
Kenny, Brett Favre had his bell rung on this series here. He missed a couple of plays, put himself back in, Kenny, and throws on his 4th and 5, that 28-yard touchdown reception. But Terry Bradshaw believes the concussion is setting in now, so Brett has not been back in. The score is all tied in Green Bay at 7-all. Back to Kenny Albert.
Well, maybe that's where the concussion occurred, the celebration after the play.
Did he pull a Gus Ferrand? Remember that 7-7 tie, Redskins and Giants years back. Gus Ferrand headbutted the wall, gave himself a concussion.
Boy, that was a bad play by Garcia that time. I mean, a guy that's played quarterback in the league this long, you got to know what you could do with the football still in the pocket like that. And normally when it's like that, it looks like it should be intentional grounding. I think they should put the bootleg up for a while. I think the Redskins are playing it. There it is.
Offense number 5. Penalized at the spot of the foul and a loss of down. Makes it 4th down.
And here's another one where Garcia he's got to be able to, he's still in the pocket there. You can't just get rid of the ball and down it to avoid a sack. I think they got to change the rule in the NFL that if a quarterback intentionally grounds the ball to avoid a sack, they should give the defender the sack.
I agree. Thrash from the 36. Brings it out to the 43-yard line, 7-yard return, 42-yard punt. Michael Jameson with the tackle on special teams.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Toyota. Choose any direction as long as it's moving forward. By Universal Pictures Friday Night Lights in theaters Friday. By the personal financial advisors of American Express. And by WebMD, redefining modern medicine.
Beautiful afternoon in Cleveland. Ray Brown on the sidelines, replaced at right tackle by Kenyatta Jones, who started Week 1 for the Redskins. Good field position. Washington from the 43. Penalty marker on first down. The pass is high, intended for Chris Cooley.
Illegal motion. Number 87 offense. Moving forward at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Rod Gardner. Redskins going backwards, Brian. Since the Portis touchdown in the second quarter, Washington has run 8 plays for a grand total of 14 yards.
Yeah, it's not no explosion to this offense at all right now, including Clinton Portis.
Portis 15 carries, 48 yards, and the Redskins' only touchdown
Joe Gibbs going to have a little conversation here with Ron Winter. Maybe not. Joe Gibbs switching headsets. With a hard time hearing through one of them. Going to go to, probably wasn't able to talk to his quarterback, going to a handheld to be able to talk to his quarterback, Mark Brunell.
From the 38, 1st and 15 following the penalty. Brunell dumps it off. And Portis tackled at the 42, gain of 4 by Warwick Coleman as we check in with Jay Glazer. Jay?
Guys, on Thursday, players and coaches of the Redskins told me that Joe Gibbs had a meeting with the team, addressed the team, and amongst the subjects brought up was, we've got to start taking our frustrations out on teams like the Cleveland Browns. And it was the first time since Gibbs returned to the Redskins that players said he actually challenged us. But you know what, guys? So far, does not seem like the players have responded to that challenge.
All right, thanks, Jay. 2nd down and 12 from the 41. Off the play fake. Pass is dropped by the tight end, Rasby.
Well, he's got to get the ball to his wide receivers. I mean, that would be a challenge to me in this offense right now. I mean, you can run these bootlegs. We've seen Garcia do it, but that's a horizontal offense. The ball's going to the sideline and not going vertically down the field. Neither one of these offenses today, with these quarterbacks, is able to vertically get the ball down the field. Give credit to this Cleveland defense, who isn't, they're not fancy, they're not a big blitz defense by Dave Campo, the coordinator here, but pretty sound in what they're doing.
Brunell calls timeout. With 3rd down and 12 coming up. Washington Redskins Monday night against Dallas used all 3 of their second half timeouts with 13 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Remember, they lost a challenge earlier in the 3rd, and now Brunell calls timeout. They have only 1 remaining.
Yeah, that's very, what's that called? Deja vu all over again?
Thanks, Yogi.
Yeah.
Redskins have to get to the Cleveland 47. Brunell's pass intended for Liddell Betts.
Well, it wouldn't have made any difference if they completed that ball to Liddell Betts anyways. They weren't going to get enough for the 1st down, and a guy like Lavernius Coles coming off the field, they can't get hooked up right now. And that's got to be the guy that gets vertical on 3rd downs for this offense.
So the Redskins on their last 11 plays have gained a grand total of 12 yards. Tupa's punt nearly blocked. Taken at the 9, a fair catch by Northcutt after Eric Westmoreland came on the rush, a 50-yard punt. Next week, Week 5 of this 2004 National Football League season on Fox, a Fox doubleheader. Many of you will see the Giants and the Cowboys early. Carolina Panthers visit the Denver Broncos late. The NFL on Fox, presented in Fox Sports High Definition. Check local listings for the game and time in your area next Sunday. For the Browns, who scored their only touchdown of the game earlier this quarter, start from their own 9-yard line, and Lee Suggs takes it out to the 12 for a gain of 3.
You know, the Cleveland Browns made an organizational decision back at the end of the season last year to cut ways with Tim Couch. I think it was a good move. They'd seen enough with Tim Couch, and they were unsure about what they wanted to do. They knew they had Kelly Holcomb, who had been a starter for him, but they didn't think he was going to be a guy that could lead this team to the playoffs. So they were either going to draft a player in the 1st round or go to free agency, and when Garcia became available, they kind of jumped at him. But Jeff Garcia comes from a system that is so different from what they're doing here.
And the Browns were shocked when Garcia became available. Butch Davis said we needed clarity, and they had thought about, you mentioned free agents, Mike McMahon, A.J. Feely, and then all of a sudden Garcia fell into their lap.
Yeah, you know, and the thing is that Jeff Garcia came into a system in San Francisco. He's in Canada for 5 years. And then, you know, Steve Young was there in San Francisco, and there was a system in place that had won Super Bowls. All you had to do was fit your style to the system. And here, he's trying to learn a new system, but still he remembers the old system better in San Francisco. And he doesn't have good clarity in his mind before every play.
Terrell Smith picks up the first down and more. His second catch, and they've both been important ones. Takes it out to the 33, gain of 17.
Well, look, any good play right now that gets a first down for Cleveland is going to get the crowd up on their feet. I mean, Terrell Smith just slips out of the back here. And if you want to be a competitive offense in this league, you've got to get the ball down the field to your wide receivers. So far today, we haven't been calling Quincy Morgan or Andre Davis or Dennis Northcutt's name very often.
Davis had that 137-yard reception, and that has been it. And this is Terrell Smith, who did not carry the football at all last season with New Orleans, and this is his first carry this season.
Try to sneak in a little deception there, huh? Try to just a quick dive to the fullback.
Smith gained 4, second down and 6 from the 37. Browns and Redskins tied at 10. Suggs. And Suggs cut down by Fred Smoot at the 43-yard line, about a half-yard shy of the first.
You know, Jeff Garcia was telling us on Friday when we met with him that he would break the huddle in San Francisco. He knew where every receiver was. He could do it blindfolded. Didn't have to think about it. Didn't have to think about the play. He could go to the line of scrimmage and really concentrate on reading the defense. Here, he says he comes out of the huddle, and he comes up to the ball, and he's still trying to remember what the play is and how to call it and where everybody's supposed to be, rather than reading the defense like he'd like to.
Brian, Ron Warner is the injured Redskin. Suffered that bruised lower left leg early in the game, but returned. Ron Warner limping off for the Redskins sideline.
Ron Warner's the right defensive end. He's locked up right here. He gets bent backwards. Knee got caught from behind him. It's probably just sprained it at this point. Second time he's walked off under his own power.
Warner has one of 3 Redskins sacks today. Third down and 1, and Suggs forced back. Antonio Pierce, the first Redskin to make contact along with Sean Taylor, so Suggs is stopped on third down and 1.
I saw that Antonio Pierce before the game, and I said, you know, the Browns are going to come running right at you. And he goes, good. He goes, you don't think they've seen the stats on what we've done so far this year? And I go, yeah, but it's all about keeping those stats up, and stopping them on third down right there is a huge move.
Here come the chains, although it certainly looks like the Browns are short.
That Warner was getting his ankle taped up. Doesn't look like it was his knee at all. Yeah, they are short. Now this Redskin defense so far today living up to its billing of the best run defense in this league.
Fans want the Browns to go for it. You see the Patriots and Bills are tied in the third quarter. 17 is the lucky number for New England. Tied at 17, and they have won 17 consecutive games, including playoffs. Brian, the last team to beat the New England Patriots?
That'd be the Washington Redskins over a year ago.
Late September 2003.
No game was in Washington that day. Tom Brady had a couple of turnovers.
Since then, the Patriots, they won their last 12 regular season games last year. 3 postseason games, including the Super Bowl. And their first 2 games this season.
Really unbelievable, Kenny, when you think about it. Both these teams on the field today just trying to win 2 in a row.
We take you back to FedEx Field. Third quarter touchdowns by Odell Betts and Rock Cartwright. Redskins over the Patriots 20 17, Week 4 last season. Now the last team to win 18 in a row, including playoffs, the Denver Broncos back in 97 and 98.
Yeah, San Francisco had done it back in 1990.
Dolphins back in the early 70s. Redskins start from their own 12. Following the punt, Portis gains 2 out to the 14. Michael Myers made the tackle along with Warren Holdman, 2nd and 8.
Yeah, I think this Brown defense is a little bit unheralded. You know, they completely shut down Jamal Lewis the first week of the season. And Dave Campos said when teams saw us do that, they didn't try to run against us. They just started throwing the football. And I said that reputation just kind of carried. He goes, it must have, because teams have stopped trying to run the football against us. And now the Redskins in a passing situation.
Burnell on 2nd and 8, over the middle to Coles. Into Brown's territory, and he is finally taken down by Robert Griffith at the Cleveland 41, a 45-yard pass play.
And Lavernius Coles is probably saying, finally they get me down the field as he split the safeties here. Lavernius Coles right between Little and Robert Griffin. Still didn't catch that ball clean. You know, he's got the dislocated finger, kind of bobbled it a little bit. See the strength of Lavernius Coles carrying Robert Griffin on his back.
Coles over the 100-yard mark for the 2nd time this season, 12th time in his career. From the 41, Portis. Gain of 2 down to the Cleveland 39. Andre Davis, the tackle.
Well, these runs to Portis, I mean, he's not gaining a lot of yards, but that play-action pass to Lavernius Coles was all set up on the fake to Portis. So it's important that they still continue to try to run the football. And for all good backs, they gain big yards in the 4th quarter when they can wear a team down and when they can get a lead, and when the defense has to gamble to try to get the ball back. That's when the big runs occur.
Gardner in motion. 2nd and 8 from the 39. Burnell rolling left. And the pass caught down at the 29-yard line for a first down. The tight end, Walter Rasby, picks up the first.
Burnell just looks so much more comfortable when he's rolling out to his left, just being a natural left-hander. The one thing you have to factor into Burnell's stats here the first month of the season is how many times he just throws the football away. Probably 3 or 4 times a day. He said that's been hard for him to do, too. He said in Jacksonville he would run out there and try to make a play.
He told us last night he's pleased with where he is at right now, but knows he has a lot more to learn.
Neutral zone infraction by the defense, moving into the neutral zone to cause the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Yeah, Burnell over there getting some instructions from Joe Gibbs. You know, Joe traded for him, and Joe went down to visit him in Jacksonville to let him know what was going on. And Joe Gibbs got down to the airport there. The first thing that Burnell had to do was take Joe Gibbs to the hospital. Had an allergic reaction to some medicine that he had to take for diabetes. Had to rush him to the hospital. He said it was longer than the dinner. He got a dinner and an emergency room visit with him.
Empty backfield from the 24. Portis. Portis down to the 12. Picks up another first. And Burnell told us they spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours in the emergency room talking football.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that they probably talked about was how they could get the ball to Clinton Portis. I mean, Portis wasn't there yet. They didn't make that trade. And I think that trade is one of those unusual trades that doesn't happen a lot in sports anymore, but a trade that benefited both teams. I think Champ Bailey going from Washington to Denver has been good for Denver, and I think Portis coming to Washington has been good for Portis.
From the 12, here's Portis. Portis went into Mike Shanahan and said, I want to be the highest paid running back in the NFL after back-to-back 1,500-yard seasons. And Shanahan said no can do. You look at what the Broncos have been able to do with their system through the years at the running back position. And they traded Portis to Washington and upgraded in the secondary with Champ Bailey.
Well, I mean, I think that's going to be the question mark hanging over maybe Clint Portis this year. Is he a product of Denver system, or is he truly one of the great top 2 or 3 backs in this league, along with LaDainian Tomlinson and Amon Green, Bruce McAllister?
Final play of the third quarter. We're now looking end zone, and he throws it out of the end zone into the third row.
That's the dog pound up there.
Let's see if they give it back.
Well, that doesn't look like they have good hands up there. I mean, they're fumbling the ball all over the place in the dog pound.
I would think the guys in the dog pound would be on the defensive side.
I would think that they'd fall on that ball somehow.
So the teams will march about 90 yards downfield as we head to the fourth.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Well, the old professors were holding class here during that last timeout. And the pupils there, Patrick Ramsey, Tim Hasselbeck, Mark Brunell, they gave a commanding a clap there for Joe Gibbs' play selection. We'll see what they do here on 3rd and 6.
Redskins can pick up a first down without reaching the end zone. Odell Betts, the lone back. They have to get to the 2 for a first down. Brunell directing traffic throws, and it's off the fingertips of Chris Cooley.
So the one guy that I think has been absent today from his offense has been Rod Gardner, who had a career day last week on Monday night against Dallas when he had 10 catches, 167 yards. And Rod Gardner is going to be open here in the back of the end zone. Gardner is right here. He uncovered, and all Mark Brunell had to do was just be a little bit more patient with that ball, and Gardner would have been standing in the back of the end zone all alone.
Gardner 3 receptions, only 19 yards after his huge day against Dallas on Monday. 26-yard attempt. John Hall hit from 31 earlier. Hall now 2 for 2, so the Redskins have regained the lead early fourth quarter. Washington 13, Cleveland 10.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by the next Ford F-150, built Ford tough. By Taxi, starring Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon, Friday only in theaters. By Coors Light, the coldest tasting beer in the world. Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL and Super Bowl 39. And by Singular, the wireless company that fits you best.
Redskins leading by 3. We saw one excited Browns fan in that shot.
Wait a second. He's got the white flag up. He's not surrendering, is he? I mean, is he just trying to get the fans going? Okay. Yeah. That's a good kickoff. You don't see that very often in the NFL anymore. A kick that doesn't get returned.
Well, it came off the foot of a guy who holds the NFL record for touchbacks in one season, John Hall. Portis coughed it up early in the third quarter. Led to the Browns' only touchdown. Garcia to Shea.
Look, the Browns are scoring touchdowns about as often as Mount St. Helens blows its top right now. But they're down 3 points here in the fourth quarter. None of that matters. All that matters right now is for Garcia to put a drive together.
Browns have scored a grand total of 4 touchdowns this season, and this is the fourth quarter of their 4th game. Pass to Suggs, and he's met by the combination of Springs and Pierce after a gain of 5.
Well, Garcia has to find his wide receivers. You know, he was telling us that in San Francisco, his favorite play was flanker drive. And in Cleveland, that play is called Frisco Fox. And it's a lot easier for him to say flanker drive and remember where his receivers are than in Cleveland's own terminology.
Suggs bottled up, loses a yard.
You see here, I mean, the wide receivers caught 3 passes today for 51 yards. And, you know, right now they're faced with a third down here. And the receivers are the guys on the outside that you've got to challenge. You got to challenge the receivers against Sean Springs and Fred Smoot, make them play. I mean, this league right now, the rules favor the offense. Illegal contact, defensive pass interference. You've got to put the ball on the outside to your receivers.
3rd down and 5. 3 wide receivers set. Andre Davis in motion. Penalty marker. Browns have to get to the 30. Pass intended for Aaron Shea.
Yeah, he was one of those 3 wide receivers you were talking about. Tight end split all the way out, almost to the sideline.
Illegal motion. Offense number 87. Moving forward at the snap. Penalties decline. Brings up 4th down.
Andre Davis. McGilty Brown.
Andre Davis was in motion right there going forward at the snap.
Redskins decline the penalty. Thrash back deep. Punt from Frost. Thrash lets it bounce, and it's down at the 30-yard line by Chris Crocker, but there is yet another flag. 45-yard punt.
Illegal man downfield for the Cleveland Browns. Redskins, I think,
Eligible man downfield on the kicking team. Number 59. A 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
It's Kevin Bentley. He's had a couple penalties on special teams today.
Remember, the Redskins were called for the first 5 penalties in today's game. Since then, Browns have been called for 8 of the last 9. So Frost will do it again.
Well, with both these offenses struggling the way they are, you want to try and create the shortest field as possible, and that's what Joe Gibbs wants to do here.
How about the Giants leading Green Bay 14-7 in the 4th?
Giants here, offensive line is getting better, I tell you. And Kurt Warner, when he's protected, is throwing the heck out of the football.
Thrash backpedaling, takes it at the 29. Heads for the sidelines. Out of bounds at the 33. 51-yard punt by Frost. Only 3 yards on the return by Thrash. Redskins will look to add to their lead.
I think the Cleveland Browns will remember Ernest Biner here during some good days in Cleveland. Of course, good days with the Redskins as well. 2 stints here in Cleveland as a running back. Now the running backs coach of the Redskins.
From the 32, one of Biner's pupils, Clinton Portis, takes it out to the 37-yard line, gain of 5.
Flashback to his days with the Brownies. Continuing a long history of good running backs in Cleveland. Go multi-dimensional. A touchdown pass to the Fun Bunch back in the day.
Also a member of the Baltimore Ravens Hall of Fame. From the 37, 2nd down and 4, and Portis is met first by the former Chicago Bear, Warwick Holdman, a loss of 3 yards on the play. Well, Brian, you think back to the Redskins' success on their 3 scoring drives today, the 1 touchdown drive and 2 drives which led to field goals. On those 3 drives, they've compiled over 200 yards. On their other 8 drives, total of 22.
Well, it's inconsistent offense. The inability to sustain offense going backwards. Penalties, a bad running play on the last play to put them into a bad 3rd down situation.
Redskins need the 42-yard line. Brunell with loads of time stays behind the line of scrimmage and then overthrows Lavernius Coles.
Did he stay behind the line of scrimmage, though? I mean, he was right up against it when he released that football, and that's what it was.
Tried to stay behind, but did cross it.
Ineligible man downfield on the passing team, number 66. Penalties decline. Makes it 4th down.
Well, maybe not. Derek Dockery the guilty Redskin.
Well, as an offensive lineman, you're not sure what's going on. Is the quarterback pulling the ball down and running, and do I need to go block for him? Here's Dockery here. So Brunell trying to create a play right there. Dockery trying to go down there and knock somebody down for him.
Terrific kick by Tupa. Northcutt forced back to the 11. Takes it out to the 29 yards on the return. A 55-yard punt. Mike Sellers, the special teams tackle. 11.5 remaining in the fourth here in Cleveland. It's the Redskins by 3.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Michelob Ultra. Lose the carbs, not the taste.
Browns start from their own 20-yard line, trailing by 3. Short drop, and the pass complete to Steve Hyden, gain of 6, out to the 26-yard line.
You know, the Redskins are going to be competitive this year as long as they continue to play run defense the way they are. Look what they've done the first 3 weeks coming into today's game against the running backs. Garner, Barber, Anderson completely shut down the opposing running backs. Have done the same thing to William Green and Lee Suggs today. What that does is it puts a team into known situation of having to pass, and that's when they blitz the quarterback.
Second down and 4. Here's Suggs, who had that 25-yard run in the first half. Picks up the first down out to the 41, a gain of 14 as we check in once again with JB.
Hey, Kenny, and tell Brian that New York will stay competitive as long as they get Jeremy Shockey involved. He has been champing at the bit to get involved. Nice little fade pattern, touchdown reception, his first since last October. Giants on top, 14-7. That 8 minutes left in the fourth. Back to Kenny Albert.
And Shockey, a mentor to the Browns' #1 draft pick.
Winslow.
Teammates at the University of Miami. From the 41. Garcia forced to throw it away with pressure from Ronaldo Wynn. He's already been sacked 3 times today.
But Jeff Garcia has not been able to step up into the pocket. And this is the design of this defense right here. Not allowing Garcia to step up here where he can threaten the defense with either running it or then creating a pass. They want to force him to the sidelines. That's what they did there. You know, Garcia has no rushing yards today. Hasn't hurt him at all. And that's a big part of his game. Good job by Greg Williams designing this defense today. Every week it's something different.
From the 41, here's Suggs. Garcia put up some incredible numbers on the ground in San Francisco, Brian. Last year alone, he led all NFL quarterbacks, 7 rushing touchdowns from Garcia.
There was always that San Francisco system. You know, they liked him. You know, he came and followed Steve Young, who was able to create a lot of plays, running the football. He was a very good runner. Garcia was. Just a mobile aspect to their game, created more plays.
Browns have to get to the Washington 49 for a first down. And they do. Only the second catch today by Quincy Morgan. On his first, he was stripped. Lost the football, and this only the 4th catch by a Cleveland wide receiver.
Well, Garcia got a chance to kind of step up here. This was a great throw by Garcia because Walt Harris on the outside, number 27, has good coverage, and then they get help from Sean Taylor coming across. He got vision there to throw that football.
So on 3rd down and 8, Morgan gained 14 yards, and now Suggs tackled by Matt Bowen from behind. Otherwise, he may have gone the distance.
Well, the one thing Suggs can do that William Green can't is that create his own play. His ability to come to a jump stop and then cut back here. Boom. Boy, made 2 guys miss right there. Sean Taylor, their #1 pick, is struggling in space to make tackles.
Taylor selected 1 pick ahead of Winslow. Redskins have the 5th overall draft pick. Cleveland, number 6. Garcia calls timeout. Browns on the move. Just over 8 minutes remaining. They trail by 3. Back in Cleveland, today's game is being seen around the world on Armed Forces Television. We want to send our best wishes to the men and women of the 86th Airlift Wing at the Ramstein Air Base in Germany. Thanks for tuning in. 1st and 10 from the Redskins 30. Northcutt made just 1 down to the 29. Chased down by Lamar Marshall.
I went over to Iraq and Kuwait this year to visit the troops. And I tell you, the morale over there is unbelievable. And anybody out there that sees any of our troops back home in the airport traveling, just tap them on the shoulder and say thanks, because they're doing an unbelievable job.
You went over with Marco Rivera?
Marco Rivera from the Green Bay Packers, and in unbelievable conditions. I mean, heat, humidity, sandstorms, unlivable conditions. And they grin their teeth, bear it, and are doing a fantastic effort.
From the 29, Garcia, Davis. Andre Davis with his 2nd big catch of the day. And there is a flag as well. Garcia took a late hit, a 23-yard pass play, and now another flag comes out.
How long did it take for that ball to come out of the sky?
Personal foul. Roughing the passer, number 58 defense.
Antonio Pierce.
Half the distance to the goal and a 1st down.
Andre Davis right here in the middle of that zone. Nobody picked him up. From a breakdown, you see Sean Taylor coming there late. Again, Garcia for the 2nd time today gets splattered by a Redskin, gets a personal foul. One thing you'll never accuse Garcia of is not being a tough guy.
From the 3-yard line, into the end zone for the touchdown, Lee Suggs.
That, Kenny, was the best touchdown drive by the Cleveland Browns this year. 80 yards, and it was a great mix. Lee Suggs, Garcia got the ball to the wide receivers. Nobody knew what Suggs' health was going to be after sitting out the first 3 weeks with that neck stinger, but I think he showed everybody that he can take a hit today.
First touchdown this season. He scored 2 last year. He's the all-time leader in touchdowns in the Big East Conference with 53 during his days at Virginia Tech. He grew up watching the Redskins down in Roanoke, and he gives the Browns their first lead of the afternoon.
A lot of big plays by Suggs, running the football, getting into space, making guys miss. Nice power football down here in the goal line. I tell you, Suggs was going north-south in that one. He smelled the goal line. And you know this has got to be a big moment for him. He talked about it with us on Friday when we had a nice meeting with him, and kind of quiet and humble kid, you know. Came in last year, didn't play first 10 weeks of the season, had a huge game against Cincinnati to finish the season, wanted to carry that momentum into this season, had a great preseason, and he got hurt in the last preseason game. Had a nice resurgence against the team that he rooted for as a kid.
9-play, 80-yard drive. Browns lead by 4, just under 7 minutes remaining here in Cleveland.
Well, this got a lot of towels out. Got people charged up here in Cleveland. You know, they won their home opener here against the Baltimore Ravens, and I think that sent a little message around the league that the Browns were ready to contend here in the AFC North, and then really slipped up badly the last 2 weeks against Dallas and the Giants.
Yeah, their problem was they had to go play the NFC East.
Yeah, on the road.
In fact, this their 3rd consecutive game against the NFC East. Liddell Betts still on his feet, brought down at the 32-yard line. A 23-yard return by Betts. Well, this Tuesday, tune into Fox, 8 Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, Game 1 of a division series. It will be either the Yankees against the Twins or the Angels, or Game 1 of a National League division series that's coming up this Tuesday, 8 Eastern on Fox.
Okay, we know the Yankees are playing on Tuesday in New York, but on the last day of baseball, they still don't know who they're going to be playing on Tuesday. The whole thing is mind-boggling. It's a little bit like the National Football League. We got to usually wait to the last game of the season to find out who's going to be in the playoffs.
So many different scenarios. Will there be a one-game playoff in the National League tomorrow? Astros have a 5-0 lead in their game. And now Brunell on first down, pulls it in, takes off, and gains 6 out to the 38.
What you don't see from Mark Brunell in this offense right now is just a straight drop-back pass and let it go. 5-step drop and let the ball go. I mean, everything seems like it has to be off of play action. Well, the play action isn't really effective right now with 6 minutes and counting in this game. I mean, to run the football right now, it's not a big part of this offense.
Bunch formation.
Yeah, right over here, 3 receivers.
Second down and 4 from the 38. Brunell looking right, escapes from Kennard Lang, and then throws it away, knocked down by Orpheus Roy.
The Cleveland Browns are not a big blitz team, but they have been able to get pressure with just their front 4. Kennard Lang and Ebenezer Ekubon, brought in from Dallas, have done well. Lang just missed his 5th sack of the season, trying to figure out how Brunell ducked out of that one. You see the frustration as Lang throws his hands to his helmet. Always said you always want to play well against your first team. The Redskins, who drafted Lang, now trying to protect him on this 3rd down.
A first-round pick by Washington back in '97 when Norv Turner was still the head coach. Redskins forced a punt.
Looked like Lang that knocked that ball down.
Yep.
Yeah, Lang's fired up. Tell you, you keep Kennard Lang around for, if nothing else, just the quotes. It's just a one-liner. There it is. He gets hands up against the double team. He said he loves playing in Cleveland. He said it's a blue-collar town, no highbrow type people. It's his kind of town. He's enjoyed it. And he said the Lerner family treats his players right.
Tuchel looking to angle towards the sidelines to keep it away from Northcutt. Redskins, Brian, had the ball 6 times in the second half. 1 turnover, and they've gone 3 and out on 4 other occasions.
Well, the dog pound is alive. You know, there's some pride back there now.
And we saw a number of members of the dog pound during our walk in from the parking lot. One guy was putting on some tape and shoulder pads.
That's how the dog pound, and they travel too now. I mean, every city in the United States, there's fans of the dog pound. They get together in their corner bistros and establishments, and that's what their Sundays are built around.
Round start from the 26. On first down, here's Suggs. I've just been told it's not the parking lot, it's the parking lot.
The parking lot? Oh, yeah, you've got to get the terminology right. Lee Suggs has given this team a lift here in this 4th quarter.
Now remember, as the clock winds down towards 5 minutes, the Redskins have only 1 timeout remaining. They lost 1 on a challenge early in the 3rd quarter, and then Brunell was forced to call another timeout.
Greg Williams told us yesterday in a meeting with him that he will always get the ball back for his offense in the final 4 minutes of a game. At least once, and sometimes even twice, he said.
Second down and 3, and Suggs hit hard by Antonio Pierce and Marcus Washington. 3rd down and 3.
In fact, he said last week in that loss to Dallas, Dallas completed a 3rd down throw, a tight end delay, and he was so upset that they weren't able to stop the Cowboys at that point in the game, that he went into the Cowboy locker room to find out what the play was. And how they, and they said it was really an accident. The tight end just kind of slipped out on his own. It wasn't even by design, and that's how they beat him on that play.
He could not leave the stadium without knowing.
Without finding out.
Play clock winding down, and Garcia calls timeout. 4:12 remaining. Fourth quarter. Third down coming up following the timeout. As we said it, West once again to JB.
Hey, Kenny, take a look at Doug Peterson in for the Packers. Intended receiver, Donald Driver, tipped high, picked off by Terry Cousins. And right now, with 2:11 left in the game, Giants on top 14-7. Brett Favre still trying to talk his way back into the game. Back to Kenny Albert.
And of note to the fans here in Cleveland, thanks, JB, it was Tim Couch who was brought in to try and win that backup job, but he was cut by the Packers. So Doug Peterson in the game in relief of Brett Favre.
Yeah, in trouble up at Green Bay in Lambeau Field. I mean, they lost to the Bears 2 weeks ago up there at Lambeau Field, and struggling against the Giants today.
Packers have not lost their first 2 home games in a season since 1988.
Well, the Giants beat both these Redskins and Browns in back-to-back weeks to get healthy and feel pretty good about themselves. Suddenly, the things that the players were saying about Tom Coughlin aren't being said anymore. Amazing what winning will do for any team.
Yes. Third down and 3. Browns need to get to the 36. A pump fake. Rip. And now Garcia throws. Andre Davis with his third big catch of the day. Brought down by Sean Taylor at the Redskins 34. A 33-yard reception.
Boy, and Garcia is pumped. They got a one-on-one situation here. Garcia using his savvy to pump on the corner there against Walt Harris. He bit hard on the play. Andre Davis with another big catch here, and look at the reaction by Garcia. Davis, a couple of huge catches today for 37, 23, and now 33 yards. Getting the ball to the wide receiver is key for this Brown offense.
Down to the 31-yard line, Suggs. There's Davis. Caught 40 passes last year. He was one of Michael Vick's favorite targets at Virginia Tech.
That's Joe Salavea, the defensive tackle that Greg Williams had in Tennessee. Was out of football last year. Brought back in. It's been playing great for the Redskins up front. Now, you mentioned Garcia making that throw. There's a lot of free agent quarterbacks that traveled around the league. You know, Vinny Testaverde, Burnell, Kerry Collins now starting in Oakland. All these guys trying to fit into new systems and learn new schemes. Maybe Kurt Warner playing better than all of them. Now there's some of the guys. A.J. Feely struggling down there in Miami. Jonathan Quinn making his first start in 4 years and for Chicago against the Eagles today. Well, the Browns made that decision to cut the cord with Tim Couch, and then what were they going to do? Were they going to go out and draft a player, a guy like Phillip Rivers or Ben Roethlisberger? Sonny Jurgensen got one of his SJ9s, one of his own cigars that gets made in the Dominican Republic. I think Sonny gets shot in every game. Does the radio for him for a long time. Great understanding. One of those trades, he was with the Eagles and then, with the Redskins. I don't think the Eagles ever overcame that trade.
Joined by Sam Huff. And the Redskins, the radio booth. Second down and 7 from the 31. Suggs tackled by Marcus Washington. You talked in the open, Brian, about the success both Garcia and Brunell had in the second halves of their games last week. And Garcia in the second half today, good numbers, 10 of 13, 131 yards.
What just came out of his helmet? What was that? What just came out of it? Did it come out of his ear, out of his mouth, out of the helmet? Something just fell out of it. Brunell trying to see if he can get the ball back here one more time. Key third down here. Greg Williams saying that he'll always be able to get the ball back for his offense. Here's this opportunity.
Browns have to get to the 24, and they keep it on the ground with Suggs, who's tackled at the 28-yard line. So the Browns will send out the field goal unit, Phil Dawson, who has connected on 18 in a row.
18 in a row, and if he can connect on his 19th in a row, make this a one-touchdown game. Redskins, of course, lost 2 timeouts early in this half.
And they just called their
last timeout.
Third timeout. Stop the clock with 2:21 remaining. So Dawson, who has hit 18 in a row, coming into the game today, the next longest active streak in the NFL. Jeff Wilkins of St. Louis has kicked 11 straight. So Dawson well ahead. This will be about a 46-yard attempt. No matter what, whether Dawson makes it or misses, Redskins still need a touchdown.
Yes. No, and Dawson, that 18 isn't all this year. He came into the season making his last 10 field goals a year ago, and now his first 8 this season.
His season long is 49. He hit from 30 back in the first quarter. This a 45-yard attempt officially. Derek Frost is the holder. High snap. Frost looks to pick up the first down, and he does not.
I think that was a fake all the way, Kenny. I don't think that was a high snap. I think that was a fake. A gutsy, aggressive call by Butch Davis here. Oh, yeah, maybe he did. Either way, with Phil Dawson back there with 18 in a row, you got to think that he's good money to make a field goal and make it a one-touchdown game. I think this is an aggressive fake all the way by Butch Davis to try to hang on to this ball, melt the clock, and leave the offense on the field.
Well, I could see if you had the backup quarterback holding, as many teams do, but Frost is the punter. He was a quarterback in high school. But would you feel comfortable with the punter throwing a pass?
No. The Redskins, though, were ready for it, and they stopped it. Redskins get the ball back. The chance to win it.
Redskins trailing by 4 as Brunell goes deep for Rod Gardner. Dalen McCutcheon on the coverage. Clock stops, 2:08 remaining in the fourth.
I think these 2 cornerbacks back for Cleveland have made a difference today. Anthony Henry and Dalen McCutcheon. The 2 corners back have played good football on the out and the edges. Forcing Brunell right now to drop back, step up, and throw it. Real pocket quarterback at this point. The rollouts and the bootlegs and all that right now aren't going to get it done.
2nd and 10 from the 27. Brunell with time, and the pass is caught and then fumbled by Coles. Picked up by Earl Whittle. So Lavernius Coles made the catch, first down yardage, lost the football.
Now, I'm sure the Redskins are going to look at whether there was possession on this ball or not.
They can't challenge. They're out of timeouts.
True, but it's under 2 minutes.
But the play came before the 2-minute warning.
True.
So this would have to be a coach's challenge, and they cannot challenge because they have used all of their timeouts.
The ball seemed like it came out very quickly. Lavernius Coles here goes up high for the ball. I don't know if he ever had possession of the ball, but it wouldn't make any difference.
Incredible for a 2nd straight week, burning all 3 timeouts, haunts the Washington Redskins late.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Sprint PCS Picture Mail. It's easy for football fans to shoot, send, and share football moments.
Well, Lavernius Coles made the catch. First down yardage. He fumbled. It was recovered by Earl Little. Normally the Redskins would challenge whether Coles actually had possession, but the Redskins used all of their timeouts, and it does not become a booth reviewable situation upstairs until the play's over and both teams are told that the 2-minute warning has started.
Right, which never happened, and with the Redskins with no timeouts, they're just going to play a knee here. With Washington with no timeouts, they're unable to challenge that call.
We welcome those of you who have watched the Giants beat the Packers in Green Bay. Kenny Albert, Brian Baldinger, Jay Glazer here in Cleveland. Wild scenario moments ago with the Redskins on the move, trailing the Browns by 4. Lavernius Coles made a catch for a first down. He fumbled on his way down. Redskins were unable to challenge whether Coles actually had possession because for the second straight week, they burned all 3 of their timeouts early.
And here's the play that would come into review. Whether Lavernius Coles here actually had possession of this football for it to become a fumble, which was ruled. If you had an extra challenge, you would certainly throw it out there if you had a timeout. Throw a challenge out there to find out whether Coles had possession here. I think the ball was moving in his arm the whole time.
Clinton Portis fumbled early in the third quarter. Redskins challenged and lost, losing their first timeout. Mark Brunell called timeout with the Redskins on offense in the third quarter, and the Redskins used a timeout on defense to stop the clock with 2:21 remaining here in the fourth. So for the second straight week, clock management burns the Redskins, as it did in the Monday night game against the Dallas Cowboys. So the Browns, who never led until the fourth quarter, win it by 4. Lee Suggs with the game-winning 3-yard touchdown run with just under 7 minutes remaining. So the Redskins fall to 1-3. Browns now 2-2. We send you to Chicago for the completion of the Eagles and the Bears.
It's week 4 of NFL Primetime. The Pats stampede into Buffalo. Could the Bills come up special and put an end to the streak? It's offense against defense in Jacksonville. Are the Jags really good enough to stay undefeated? The Eagles try to escape Soldier Field without a late letdown and a loss, while the Panthers try to keep Michael Vick from escaping with another win. Favre takes a big blue beating, while Tiki runs loose at Lambeau. And the Jets look to stay perfectly hot down in Miami. Ready, set, hot, hot. Week 4, NFL Primetime. Next.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time. And now, here's your host, Chris Berman.
Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to NFL Primetime Week 4, the first Sunday in October. Very autumnal, as Tom Jackson. Very of the season.
Thank you, bro.
Very,
you're
not
you
so,
as well.
Well, just trying to
nice colors.
change things up a little bit. You know, in 14 games in week number 4, you had 10 home underdogs. And what that is an observation that the perception of the have-nots, that there are a lot of them.
That's right.
I don't know that that's quite it. We'll see. That's the perception, Tom, that there's a big difference. We talked about that this morning.
Yeah, and I also think that once we play through this weekend now, most teams will have played 4 games. You know who your teams are now.
One of those home underdogs was Houston. They're pretty good at home. The Raiders have won 2 in a row. Houston has never won 2 in a row in their brief team history. Kerry Collins in place of Rich Gannon, the starter, and he is nailed by Jamie Sharper, and it's the hat trick. The hit, the fumble, and the touchdown, 10-3 Houston. Watch famous Amos Zaraway, the one-time Steeler. Across the 35, and then whoop, and then back to the 25, and then whoop, and then inside the 15, whoop, and then look at him change like he's on a swivel. 55 yards, touchdown. We're tied at 10. David Carr said if we ever win back-to-back games, me and my dad We're both going to cut our hair. We haven't done it. Barbers all around Houston hoping for some business. And Carr and Andre Johnson, what a combination they are, Tom. He goes up in traffic, and then there's Jabbar Gaffney.
Yeah, Jabbar Gaffney, look at the move, coming across the middle. Look at the delivery of the ball. Off his back foot, Carr puts it right where he needs to. They're down to the 1-yard line.
And Jonathan Wells scored a touchdown at 17-10 Houston. Now we're 17 all. Collins is picked off by Dante Robinson, the number 10 overall draft pick last year. He had a pair on this game. Sets up a field goal by Chris Brown, 20-17 Houston. Oh, it's a Kerry Collins. It's a shotgun. He's just not ready. Norvelous Norv. Man, it's a shotgun, Kerry. Then Carr says, we're in business. First play, fourth quarter to Johnson. And he makes the move on the 2, and he goes in standing up. And Houston goes on to win 2 in a row for the first time. There's Mr. Carr and there's David Carr. Both will be getting their hairs cut this week as the Texans even their mark at 2-2. Same with the Raiders, 30-17. Kerry Collins, 3 picks, a fumble. Meanwhile, Houston's, David Carr, I like his leadership. And he's showing us more than, okay, I'm a big lumbering guy back there. Not the case.
Well, his leadership, we know about his toughness. His rookie year, he was sacked 76 times. That's still an NFL record. So he's shown great toughness. And now I think he's starting to show you that athleticism outside the pocket, inside the pocket, great delivery of the football. I think that no team in this league goes anywhere without the quarterback. And they have a quarterback in Houston.
And the Raiders, the coach did alert us to it. We like Kerry. He's done well. He brought a team to a Super Bowl. But the Raiders have to go with him now as Rich Gannon has the vertebrae injury, which could be career-threatening. We wish the best to him, but not very careful with the football. We've seen that before.
3 interceptions, fumbled directly for a touchdown. You just can't make those mistakes. But he does throw a good deep ball.
30-17 Houston. Big day in Houston with the Astros clinching, the Texans winning when we return. Donovan McNabb, could the Eagles go to 4-0? And oh, by the way, the New England Patriots are trying to win their 18th straight, dating back to September ago. Could Tom Brady and company do it in Buffalo against one-time mate Drew Bledsoe? Brett Favre, knocked out by the Giants, although he wouldn't sit down, and he's amazing, but the G-men looking to go 3-1.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Grab yourself a great-tasting, low-carb Miller Lite. Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Redskins and Browns. Last time the Redskins were in Cleveland, Joe Gibbs was the head. Wait a minute, he's back. That's Joe Bugel, Don Bro, the veteran mentors of the Redskins, Mark Brunell, Lavernius Coles. Look at this move. Whoop! And it's a 30-yard pickup all the way down to the 7. He makes the move on Anthony Henry.
Yeah, a good move. Shift him to the outside, bring it back to the inside, and then I like the move at the end where he went and got an extra 10 yards.
Clinton Portis started the year off with that 60-yard run. This is 1 yard. It is a touchdown. 10-3 Redskins. Third quarter, same score. And we're seeing this now from Clinton. Here's a fumble. Mike Myers, yeah, baby, strips him of the ball, and the Browns recover at the 32. Redskins are going to challenge this, and they lose a timeout.
Yeah, you can see that Clinton is not on the ground. He's actually on another player. When the ball comes out, they lose a crucial timeout.
And it would cost them later on. Meanwhile, Jeff Garcia being chased, and he does this well, Tom. A little outside Aaron Shea, 10-10.
I think at his best, outside the pocket, where he can deliver the ball with a clear line of sight.
And down 13-10 this time in the pocket, but one of the 18 Andre Davis is on the Browns, makes the 23-yard catch. Lee Suggs from the 3. Boom, is in, and the Browns lead 17-13. Now, 2:21 to go in the fourth quarter. Fake field goal. Derek Frost, tricky Browns. But boom, he's stopped, and Butch Davis-Campbell's does not pay off, and the Redskins have the ball down 17-13. 2:08 to go. So the reason I'll tell you why in a minute. Brunell to Coles. Coles, it's a fumble. Earl Little recovers it. The Redskins, remember, they lost the challenge. They didn't have a timeout. They could challenge it before the 2-minute warning, but they couldn't because they were out of timeout. So didn't have a chance. Meanwhile, Coles fumbled.
Second week in a row.
That they had no timeout.
Second week in a row, we have no timeouts at the end of the game. Lost the challenge, lost the timeout. got to get it right on the sideline.
Suggs, 82 yards for Cleveland, who evens its mark at 2-2. Clinton Portis, 20 carries, 58 yards. Not what they had in mind. Bengals at the Steelers. And the first of many meetings between Carson Palmer and Ben Roethlisberger. And if you're at Heinz Field, Tom, at Heinz, wouldn't you really like to have a Roethlisberger? What would go better with Heinz? Roethlisberger, 20 yards to Antoine Randall L. Little relish, first down. And then watch this now. Look at Roethlisberger's maturity, Tom.
Well, he's going to pre-read the blitz before the snap of the football, and then knows he's got to get it out of his hands. He's going to do that very quickly.
Vern Haynes, 11-yard touchdown, and Pittsburgh leads 14-7 early second quarter. Now 14-10 third quarter. Carson Palmer pressure. Joey Porter bringing it. Fumble in the air. Travis Kirschke. Oh, he can't come up with it. He just... No!
And that's why Travis is a lineman. That's why he's a lineman, because he doesn't have those great hands.
First and goal for... The Bengals look very Princeton-like. 1959. There's Dick Kazmaier running for a touchdown. Cosmo Yakavazi. No, it was Rudy Johnson. At any rate, Jerome Bettis, guess what? A 1-yard touchdown. His second of the day. 18 carries, 22 yards this season. He's up from 7 inches a carry to 40 inches a carry. Meanwhile, Troy Polamalu, one-time roommate of Carson Palmer at USC. Whoop! And then watch this, and a whoop! And then at the 5, I'm not done. Carson, get out of my way! What a touchdown for the #1 pick of a year ago.
Yeah, and Polamalu, if you watch him, just look at the desire he has to get into the end zone. I like Carson Palmer trying to make this stick. But, boy, you got to watch out for yourself. We need you to line up for the next play. And John Kitna there giving him a little lesson, a little teaching from the sideline.
Well, in this game, the Steelers are now 2-0 in starts by Ben Roethlisberger. Win in the rain at Miami. Win at home against the Bengals, 28-17. And, you know, Marvin Lewis is going to improve things at Cincinnati. But how about this number, which is it's just staggering. It's the 42nd straight game that the Bengals have gone on the road and lost a game to a team with a winning record, dating back to December of 1990, Sam Weiss. So, yeah, things will come. They're a learning curve. Pretty fast curve to date for Ben Roethlisberger in his 2 starts.
Well, I know that you've spoken to his college quarterback coach. I've spoken to his head coach as well. And what we hear is the same thing, that he's matured beyond his years, that Pittsburgh will be very satisfied with this kid. And when you see the 17 of 25, 174 yards, the touchdown that he threw for, those are not numbers that you expect. You expect him to play more like what you see from Carson Palmer. And I think we've already seen him do the thing that you want him to do. He's 2-0. He's starting to feel comfortable, and it's going to be his job, folks. Tommy Maddox, yep. I just have the feeling that Ben now is their starter from this point on, and you're going to have to be, you know, comfortable with that backup role.
A little ahead of schedule. And let's suffice to say, it's in a division, as we said before the year, where you can move a little bit. There's nobody that's going to be 14-2 in this division. This is the division to go young quarterback. The Bengals are trying it, and the Steelers are working it out thus far. When we return, well, this is not a young quarterback. Brett Favre. The Packers couldn't start 1-3, could they? It was a battle of Favre against another former one-time MVP of the NFL, Kurt Warner. G-Men trying to go G1 of the Eagles. T.O., 5 touchdown catches all the way coming in. Would he get some more? Eagles at the Bears.
Chevrolet Fantasy Ticker is brought to you by the new Chevrolets. 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months. An American revolution.
You know, they don't play very often, but us old-time football fans think of Giants at Packers. Vince Lombardi, Allie Sherman, NFL championship game, Jim Taylor, Paul Hornung running on a Robustelli and Cat. I know that was a long time ago, but a rare trip for the G-Men trying to be 3-1 going to the not-yet frozen tundra of Lambeau Field and Brett Favre. Off that battle of the ages last week against Peyton Manning. Now, another co-MVP, another MVP of the league, I should say, Favre against Kurt Warner. Warner right at Darren Sharper. Big day for the Sharper brothers, Tom. It was a sharper image. There's the... Hey, it took Kurt 4 games to be picked off one time.
First one this year.
He's playing well. Brett Favre, watch this play. This is Brett Favre, young Brett Favre, old Brett... Whoop! And then he goes... Whoop! And then... Fran Tarkenton had nothing on this, and oh, by the way, here's the completion to Bubba Fran. That's fine. But then, on just the normal play, it's Will Peterson to pick him up, and we have a scoreless tie at the half at Lambeau for the first time since 1980. Favre. Chased out of the pocket, tries to throw it away. Big William Joseph of the Giants going to fall on him, Tom, in the head. You see what happened.
You saw the back of his head hit the ground, and you know, for those of us who played and maybe those who haven't played, you could tell that Brett had a pretty solid concussion right there.
He goes out for a play, and on 4th and 5, he calls himself back into the game. Waves Doug Peterson out, and not really maybe knowing everything that's going on, he's going to throw a touchdown to Javon Walker. 28 yards. Packers lead 7-0. But now the Giants' ground game. Tiki Barber. Look at the hole off right tackle. He could go all the way. God, that shot looks like a video game. 7-7, 52-yard run. Now, Brett, they find out concussion. He's not able to return for the rest of the game. Doug Peterson plays, and we're still at 7. Kurt Warner, the nimble one. Kurt Warner, safe. And he thinks they get a touchdown, Tom, but it was a tight call. They said not.
Well, the rule is where you start your slide. The official, you can see him right on the line right there. He ruled he started that slide before the ball had crossed the plane.
But a couple plays later, they get the touchdown anyway. That's Jeremy Shockey in motion, catching from Kurt Warner, and the Giants lead 14-7. Craig Nall, the third Packer quarterback, with seconds to go. They got no timeouts. It's Robert Ferguson. Tick, 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 tick. Brett says, please, get up and spike. Tick, tick, tick. It's done. It's done. And Tom Coughlin's Giants, behind Kurt Warner, have now won on the road. They are 3-1, and the Pack, surprisingly, 1-3, with the final 14-7 Tiki, 182 yards rushing in this game. Mike Sherman explained how Favre got in, but then didn't go on.
I looked at him and he was standing right beside me. You okay to go? He said, yeah, I'm ready to go. So he went back in and did what he does. He threw a touchdown pass, and the doctors hadn't necessarily cleared him. So I was in error on putting him back in there. He did ask me if he could go back in the game, and I did say that the doctors hadn't cleared him, and he can't go back in the game until they get clearance, and they had concern because he just was, was a little cloudy.
Well, certainly, look, every thought with every player, certainly Brett Favre, they don't play again until Monday night against Tennessee in a game, oddly enough, the McNair is also hurt. So, the consecutive games, you worry about the concussion and everything, but amazing they threw the TD. But look, the Green Bay Packers are now 6-6 in their last 12 at Lambeau Field.
Lambeau Field mystique
They give up 400 yards today, Tom. They don't look good.
They don't look good, but you look at the other side of that coin, the Giants, what a surprise they have been for Giants fans. You think about that first interception thrown by Kurt Warner, and Tiki Barber, the guy who fumbled almost every game, still has not had a fumble this year. What a great job he did of running. Got some great blocking. Here he's coming off tackle. Look at the kick-out block. Look at the lead. Looking for the backer on the inside. He sees the crease, and he is straight up field, north and south, as quickly as he can get there. Again, we're going to come this time to the right side. You see right there, the H-back comes in motion. Tiki spots it. You get the kick out. And look at this crease. There is a backer unblocked right between those arrows. He uses quickness right there to get by him, and again, he gets north-south as quick as he can, and then another run off tackle. Once you find the success in one spot, you keep going after it. H-back this time seals inside. Tiki Barber with great vision gets outside, gets on the safeties, gets all he can before one of those sharpers knocks him out of bounds. And I think, again, we're seeing game plan by Tom Coughlin carried out and executed almost perfectly. As you said, almost 400 yards of offense for the Giants. Over 400 yards of offense for the Giants.
And Tiki ran for 182 yards. Hey, that 5-minute early rule, it's working, huh?
Whatever it is Tom Coughlin's doing, it's working.
That's right. The Giants at Dallas next week in an interesting game. But meanwhile, in the division, everybody looking up at the Philadelphia Eagles. And Brian Urlacher looking out. Terrell Owens looking to increase his league-leading 5-touchdown catch tie with Randy Moss. Meanwhile, Donovan McNabb sacked by Tank Johnson, one of the #1 picks. And Urlacher says, hey, we can play some defense here. At 6-0 Philly, 2 long acres field goals. R.W. McQuarters makes change. Unfortunately, the Eagles, for him, recover. Harbaugh's heroes playing well again on special teams.
Well, he was hit by his own man right there, Nathan Bashir, and he dropped the football. You don't want contact from your own guys.
And on the 11, right for it. Terrell Owens catches it from McNabb, and we do the 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6 for 6 touchdown catches this year, 13-0 Eagles. McNabb, play fake to T.O. Only the sideline keeps him from the end zone. It's 44 yards. T.O. 8 for 110 today.
And you see the strength of T.O. He wanted his release right down the field, so he ran right through McQuarters so he could keep that distance away from the safety, and then he had the speed to get 7 yards of separation for the cornerback.
I like the way the Bears have played hard in every game, but boy, with Grossman now out there, young quarterback Jonathan Quinn, his 7th year in the league, he's made 3 previous starts. And this is what happens when you don't throw passes for like 4 years. You overthrow everybody, right? We saw that with Peterson, too. And then sometimes you don't overthrow, and it's nearly picked off by Lito Shepherd. Then Hugh Douglas back as an Eagle. He's still got the quickness, and he's in there for the sack.
Yeah, and then we're going to play a numbers game. You just watch the guys blocking at the line of scrimmage. Everybody's picking up somebody. Hugh Douglas is coming free. We have one more than you can block. Again, we come in large numbers. This is defensive coordinator Jim Johnson. You're blocking 2 guys. We have 3 coming. Even though you saw the open receiver right there, you do not have time to get rid of the football. You got to make instantaneous decisions. Young quarterback who hasn't played for a long time, not going to be able to do
Now,
that.
the Bears are in a tough spot. They're outmatched by the Eagles on this day. They played hard, though. They kept it to within 10, 19-9, but the Eagles are 4-0 heading to a bye week. We gave you T.O.'s number. By the way, Brian Westbrook ran for 115, caught 9 balls for 63. Akers from
Louisville
had 4 field goals of 40 yards or over. And the Philadelphia Eagles, yeah, they're rolling. They look, the game wasn't really that close. Bears up. When we return, Patriots going to tie the NFL record with defense. Bring up a win in Buffalo where they lost 31-0 last year. How about offense? Colts against the Jags defense. This would be a superior matchup at all.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have Mo, Larry, Curley, and defensive tackle John Henderson. And he's ready for the game. Why I oughta? Never mind. Peyton Manning and the 3-1 Colts, the 2-1 Colts, the 3-0 Jacksonville. Manning to Marvin Harrison, 15 yards, 7-0 Colts. They lead 10-3 at the half. Jacksonville, though, keeping it in their range. Peyton Manning play action, Marcus Pollard, 16 yards, 17-6 Colts after 3. You figure that's enough because Jacksonville, as well as they play on D, they don't have the O. But wait a minute, did I say D? Darryl Smith. Look at this play by Smith. First, he meant, whoop, I've got it. And then at first they called it no interception. And then the ref said, well, on one hand, I thought that he might not have had them. But on the other hand, I looked again and he made a really good play. And so after careful thought, we ruled that Darryl Smith has come up with the football. And what a play that was. Meanwhile, 4th and 1. Gambling. Byron Leftwich to Jimmy Smith. Wow, these are the Jags.
Yeah, reminiscent of what we used to see, and I'm going to date myself here, the Packers all the way back in the 60s.
17-15, and then Leftwich. Brian Jones hits a 2-point conversion, and we're tied. Gambling Jags, Jack Del Rio, chopping wood. Here they go. Next possession. 3rd down for the Colts, their own 32. Manning. And the Jaguars figure they have him stopped with 9 minutes to go in a tie game, but holding Jaguars.
Yeah, you take a look at it here. Dwayne Washington right there going to get flagged for holding Reggie Wayne. Just slight right there. And you have the feeling that the Colts are going to get their share of those kinds of calls this year.
Good comment. Less than 4 minutes ago, 3rd and 6. Manning, Brandon Stokely for a first down. A face mask penalty gives him a couple extra yards. Edger and James, touchdown. And the Colts with 3.5 to go lead 24-17. 2 to go, 4th and 1. You know Fred Taylor's getting it. Rob Morris in the middle of that Colt defense and company make the stop. Measurement confirms Colts have held. And so Jacksonville game, but they fall for the first time this year. So they and the Colts lead their division, the AFC South, 24-17 Indianapolis. At Manning, 2 touchdown passes today, now has 11 for the season, Tom. But Jacksonville give Leftwich the nod.
Well, I give Leftwich the nod, 29-41, 318. I thought that they might have some success moving the ball against the Colts, but you knew that those Colts somehow were going to get 20-plus points. The Jags have to figure out a way to score more points.
Of course, the only game the Colts lost this year was to the New England Patriots, and the New England Patriots, that's really not news because do you know the last coach to beat the New England Patriots? It's amazing when you think about it. Steve Spurrier. Last September, the Washington Redskins beat the Patriots and they fell to 2-2. They have not lost since, and the NFL record is 18 straight, regular season playoffs combined. 17 in a row for the Patriots heading into their game in Buffalo. That's our prime cut. If you're wondering where the Patriots have been, they played one game in 24 days because they had the Thursday game, then they had a game in Arizona, then they had a bye week. Buffalo is well off a bye. Drew Bledsoe against his old teammate and old team, Tom Brady and the Pats. But they didn't have this before. Corey Dillon. Bang! 15 yards. Dillon had a $150 in their last game at Arizona. First touchdown as a Patriot. Bills special teams, but for a different reason. Terrence McGee makes one move. And I don't think Adam Vinatieri, game as he is, and his great-great-great-great-grandfather, member of Custer's crew, not going to work. 98 yards, we're tied at 10. Second quarter, Bills, you had a feeling first half would come out flying, but the ball flies. On Drew Bledsoe, Tyrone Poole with the pick, returns it to midfield. It's one that got away. So ensuing drive, moving up to the 2. And the Patriots are going to go ahead, but no! Corey Dillon fumbles. Chris Kelsey recovers Buffalo. A wagon circled. And we're 10-10. Next drive, Brian Moorman is the punter. Tricky Bills special teams. Look at the wheels on him. Moorman converts into a first down. 34-yard run.
Yeah, first he made a great pickup of the ball, and then he showed some athleticism, and then he pointed for that last block, and maybe he should be playing another position.
That was pretty good. Next play, Bills 41. I like this. After a big break, Bledsoe. Eric Boldsheet, 41 yards, touchdown. Buffalo is ahead of the Patriots, 17-10, bringing them all they can handle. But then, Brady, not so fast, 2-minute drill to David Patton. The general, wide open, nifty moves at the 2-yard line. Game on, tied at 17. Move that way to the fourth quarter, 4th and 1. Adam Vinatieri, well, this is money. Good, but Buffalo offside. So, Bill Belichick says take the points off the board. Mike Mularkey says, wait a minute now, maybe we can stop them. And they almost do. Dillon, he's trying to crawl in. Oh, ball out before they ruled the whistle blew before the ball came out. So the Patriots keep their hands on it. Brady, tight end Daniel Graham. Touchdown. 24-17 New England. Now 3 minutes left. 4th and 3 Bills. Belichick calling, bring it on defense. Teddy Bruschi. Fumble. Richard Seymour. And he's got a block from Bruschi, and Rodney Harrison is there to mutilate anybody that comes near Seymour. The big guy, 68 yards, touchdown. The Patriots defense seals the deal. And then they had about 3 sacks after that. And New England has now won 18 straight games. Congratulations to the Patriots. They've won it 31-17. And we should say that if you're looking for records, this is a pretty good list. Bill Belichick's Patriots have now won every game starting with last October. 18 and counting. The Broncos, which won back-to-back Super Bowls at 18. The 49ers would be calling the plays at 89 and 90. Joe ran them all right. The Dolphins in 72, 73, and a couple of George Halas Bears teams. Pretty darn good list.
Inside the Numbers. Brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game.
Well, the Bills gave the Patriots a tussle, and New England knew they would have that. But in the end, the Patriots bring their defense to seal the deal, Tom.
It is a tough matchup for this Bills offense and Drew Bledsoe in particular because they're so aggressive, New England. When they come at you in waves. They come at you with different people. Sometimes it's the guys on the outside. Sometimes it's the guys on the inside. They use a plethora of different people in order to put pressure on the quarterback. Here they're going to come with the 7-man rush. It's going to be Mike Vrabel off the top, Teddy Bruschi coming inside, and Bledsoe again. This ball he gets rid of, but you see he's got to take the hit, and there's the opportunity there to make a play again. 7-man up again. Roman Pfeiffer going to come untouched from the backside. They can figure out where you can see him, where you can't see him. Right there, you can see Drew felt it right at the end, and he was going to get a sack. And then Teddy Bruschi right there, up on the line. He's not hiding what he's getting ready to do. They just come in waves. They come in numbers. This the biggest play of the game. He causes the sack. Seymour picks it up. He's gone. Game, set, match. And I think what we have here, Boom, is just a bad matchup. The Bills have a guy who holds on to the football a long time. You've got this highly athletic, aggressive defense. And, oh, by the way, they know him as well as they know any other quarterback in this league.
Well, a couple of Bills linemen went out during the game with injuries. That's like sharks swimming around in the blood. 7 sacks. Bruschi had 2. Mike Vrabel had a sack. Roman Pfeiffer had a sack. Rosie Coleman had a sack. Seymour had a sack. Vince Wilfork had a sack. They got New England's, what, 13 sacks now, I believe, in 3 games. Look, they do it with defense. I mean, they haven't played, I'm sure, up to Bill Belichick's delight all the way across the board. But the last time I checked, you know, they're winning the games.
That's right.
They're winning it with defense at the end.
18 in a row and counting.
And they play Miami at home next Sunday to go for 19. And that crowd and the team will be up for it. But they're not the only team that's undefeated in the AFC East. That would be the New York Football Jets. Chad Pennington and the Jets off a bye, playing in Miami. And then Emmitt Smith. He's done just about everything in football, but not this. Arizona tries to get off the schneid. We'll be back. Sunday Night Football, the St. Louis Rams in San Francisco to play their longtime rival, the 49ers, who for the first time since 1977, a week ago, were shut out. Time to start a new streak, but could the Rams keep the Niners held down? With highlights of our game, here's Linda Cohn.
ESPN Sunday Night Football, Rams-Niners. Marshall Faulk, you know what? The Rams are a perfect 25-0 when he rushes for at least 100 yards. Mike Martz, you finally listened. Bolger, hands off to Faulk. His 40th career 100-yard game. Faulk, 23 carries, 121 yards rushing. Still in the first, 49ers down just by 7. Tim Rattay hit by Tommy Polley, and Leonard Little would recover. This would lead to another Rams touchdown, 14-0 Rams. It was 17-0 in the second. Mark Bolger back to work, 17-25 for 186. Over the middle to Isaac Bruce, who becomes the first player in NFL history to start the season with 4 straight 100-yard receiving games. First since 1963, and then Bolger to Steven Jackson for the finishing touch.
And Sunday Night Football continues next week at 8:30 Eastern when Ray Lewis and the Ravens take on the 1-3 Redskins. The game is preceded by Primetime and followed by SportsCenter. Now, back to Boomer and NFL Primetime.
The New York Football Jets off a bye against the Miami Dolphins is looking for something. Herm Edwards has Chad Pennington, and he also has Curtis, my favorite, Martin. A first quarter 1-yard blast. Jets lead 7-0. 7-3 second quarter. Leonard Henry. Look at Leonard Henry shift the ball, running it across midfield stripe, and that would lead to a Dolphins field goal. Jay Fiedler starting back at the helm for Miami, 7-6. Chad Pennington, first pick of the year. Arturo Friedman, and naturally it's the defense that's putting them in business at the 10. But Miami's offense, oh boy. 3rd and goal. Jay Fiedler. Marty Booker can't get tradition. It's no touchdown. They hold him to a field goal, 10.
And not one pass in that series thrown into the end zone.
However, this pass is thrown into the hands of Donnie Abraham, who Isaacson Jacobs hit, 66 yards, touchdown, 17-9 Jets. But it would get worse. There was a series where Jay Fiedler, just pressured by the Jets, off the hands of Conrad to Victor Hobson. 3 picks. Every time you looked up in the 3rd quarter, there was a pick. And then Martin with a 12-yard blast that moves him past Thurman Thomas, 10th all-time on the rushing list. Congratulations. Then Fiedler. He tried the lateral. Fumble. John Abraham. I thought he was better with the ball than Feely, but maybe not. The Jets beat the Dolphins 17-9. And for New York, we told you about the heroics of Curtis, my favorite Martin. The Miami Dolphins have not been 0-4 since their first season. Expansion 1966. George Wilson Sr., the head coach. George Wilson Jr. and Dick Wood were the quarterbacks. Oh, my goodness. They haven't allowed more than 17 all year, and they lost every game.
Yeah, it's not the defense that's hurting them.
Really? Saints and Cards. Emmitt Smith. He's done so much. The all-time leading rusher. He would watch as Aaron Brooks. Saints on the road. What could happen? First, they win at St. Louis, but it's a dry heat in Arizona. Hey, the Saints.
Fumble the snap on the 1-yard line.
Can't trust them. Saints, tricky Saints. Double reverse. Boxed. Adrian Wilson. 35 yards. Touchdown, Arizona. Denny Green looking for his first win as Cardinals coach. Emmitt fumbles. Saints recover. So both teams fumbling at the goal line, but Emmitt would redeem himself. Cards in Saints territory, second quarter, Emmitt, 16 yards. Later in the drive, Emmitt Smith has never thrown a pass in the NFL until today. Yes, today. Ayan Video, touchdown, 21 yards. Emmitt, perfect passer rating for his career. Bet you never thought you could say that. And then he catches one for 18 yards. But this is what he does best, better than anybody in the history of the game. Up the middle. Oh, shades of the old Emmitt Smith, Tom.
Unbelievable.
Emmitt, 127 yards rushing in front of friends and relatives in Arizona at the game. He now is tied Walter Payton for the most 100-yard games rushing with 7. The Cardinals, 34-10? What was that? Tom, what was that?
Called a thumping.
Emmitt Smith does it all, and here it is. He's tied Walter Payton for most 100-yard games. 1 ahead of Barry Sanders, more ahead of Eric Dickerson. He's only the 5th man, 35 or over, to run for 100 yards. Bill Brown, MacArthur Lane, John Riggins, Marcus Allen. You know what? People go, why are you still playing? Because he enjoys it.
He's playing because he loves it. He's passionate about the game, and he can still play. And then I could combine that with the passion that Dennis Green has for the game as well. This team has been in every game that they have played, even the one they played against the defending world champions. And it looks like Emmitt's getting better as this season starts to go on.
Right, absolutely. Arizona, hope on the desert. The Saints remain one of the biggest mysteries in the NFL. When we return, this guy is no mystery, LaDainian Tomlinson. How good would he be today? Certainly the Tennessee Titans had to buckle up against the Chargers. Well, maybe not. Mike Vick, Falcons, trying to go 4-0 at the home of last year's NFC champion, Carolina Panthers. Tennessee Titans at 1-2 going out to San Diego. And a rare development that Steve McNair, badly bruised sternum, could not start. Billy Volek starts, but LaDainian Tomlinson started and finished. 15-yard touchdown, San Diego Superchargers. We'll do it more, don't worry. Titans down 7-0. Volek with a fade pass to Derek Mason. We're tied at 7. Then this kid, Antonio Gates. And how about the way Drew Brees is putting up points, Tom? Brees feels it. They said if he doesn't play well, Phillip Rivers can start. Not today. 11-yard touchdown, 14-7. And then 21-7, LaDainian Tomlinson.
Whoa.
Watch this.
Whoa.
42-yard pickup, and he passes Paul Lowe as the all-time leading rusher in Charger history, 24-7. Onside kick, Titans after 24-10. Titans can play special teams. They recover. 4th and 1. 8 minutes to go. Volek to Derek Mason, first down. So we got a game, huh? Because Volek to Shad Meyer. 3-yard touchdown, 24-17. But then, Brees, Rashae Caldwell. Great one-handed catch. 58 yards. Gone. Look at it again. Look, Ma, one hand.
Well, what a great grab he makes. And then he takes off downfield. Now I'll sing. San Diego Superchargers.
How about LaDainian Tomlinson? We didn't see this enough. 147 yards on just 17 rushes. So despite the fact that Billy Volek set a second most in franchise history completions with 39, Warren Moon with the mark, San Diego clobbered the Titans, and we mentioned Paul Lowe, fitting. Chargers wear the best uniforms in football. Throwback next week at home against Jacksonville. Broncos, Bucks, and civic treasure John Lynch, 11-year Buck, a fabric in the community, comes back to Tampa and gets a rousing ovation, as he should, even though he's now a Bronco. His friend Brad Johnson throws to Michael Clayton, and Lynch touches him before he gets up, or at least does he? I mean,
Coach Shanahan's not going to be pleased. You got Champ Bailey tripping right there, and you can see that Clayton has the ball. He starts to get up. He realizes that he's up off the ground. John Lynch touches him, but he goes on. He's not officially down. It's a touchdown. When we show that now, flashback to the playoffs last year against the Colts, you have Marvin Harrison receiving this pass. You've got 7 Broncos around, and he gets up untouched and runs for a touchdown. So this is going to be a focal point of at least a couple of meetings, getting guys down and making sure that they're down, you know, so they don't get up and run for touchdowns.
And there's Lynch stopping longtime teammate Mike Allstott to the backfield for a loss. Jake Plummer, Reuben Jones collide in the backfield. Jones battles for the first down. Jake, at times, Plummer handing off to Darius Watts. Turns up the wattage for a first down on 3rd and 3. Now 3rd and 3 with 2 minutes to go in the fourth. Plummer almost intercepted, but the Bucks called offside. There were a lot of plays that the Bucks either shot themselves in the foot or a ruling went the other way. And hey, Denver wins it on the road. So they scored 6 at Jacksonville and 16 at Tampa Bay and 2 Florida trips. They've split those games. So the Broncos are 3-1. Plummer 13 of 31 for 138. But Denver wins. And Tampa Bay, they've never been 0-4. Well, no, actually, they've been 0-4 many, many, many times, but not since '96. But John Gruden's Bucks are 0-4, and he's 1-8 lifetime against Mike Shanahan. They had to exchange Al Davis stories on the field before the game. They had to.
Yeah, I think they had a few at least.
They had a few. All right, Broncos, but now Falcons, Panthers. First quarter. Jake Delhomme to Muhsin Muhammad. Hit by Brian Scott. It's a fumble. Keith Brooking recovers. Ensuing focus, Warwick Dunn. Getting it done for the undefeated Falcons.
Yeah, and I think you're starting to see Alex Gibbs' effect on this offensive line. The north-south running to get through the hole quick, get your head going downfield, and get what you can.
And then Delhomme, the Panthers off a bye week, zip to Muhsin Muhammad. Nice play here. 23-yard catch. Sets up a Deshaun Foster tough touchdown run. We're tied at 7. Now it's 13-10 Atlanta third quarter. Dunn is stopped. Vic hit by Brandon Short behind the play. They were trying to smack him around today with the Panthers.
Yeah, I thought that the Panthers, and this is what they do and what they do best. Their front seven taking advantage of what they can do in terms of hitting the quarterback. They want to hit the running back. They want to be very physical at the line of scrimmage.
And then Kevin, after Vic retaliates there, you see it, and the flags go for everybody. So, grudge match, and remember Carolina in the Super Bowl last year, Atlanta made the playoffs year. These two teams, you know, not the fans from each city can drive to the other one's park. Then Kevin Mathis. Woo! Kevin Mathis, whose pick sealed it in overtime last year on ESPN Sunday Night Football, does it again to Carolina. Kevin Mathis, and chances are his 35-yard return would help the Falcons go on to beat Carolina 27-10. The defending NFC champs are 1-2, but Mike Vick, new coach Jim Mora, and the Falcons are 4-0, Tom. For real?
Yeah, I think they're for real, and Mike Vick and this West Coast offense, they're going to get better. They're going to get better at running the football as well, I think, especially with Warwick Dunn. But the thing that I'm most impressed with is maybe their defense. They win a game 6-3 last week. They give up only 10 points this week. If they can have the defense come along, because that's what you need when you start getting down to December, when you start getting into January in the playoffs, you've got to have your defense ready to play. Mike Vick and his play will take care of itself. I still, you know, I'm going to be maybe the only one who says it. I'd like to see him leave the pocket and improvise more. I just don't think you can worry all the time about him getting hurt. And I think then his whole game will blossom.
Well, look, running. Vic was 35, Duckett 63, Dunn 77. I mean, so you get a lot of help.
Yes.
And that'll help a defense, which we already know can sack the other team.
That's right. They're certainly very aggressive at the line of scrimmage.
So the Atlanta Falcons, 4-0, one of the surprises this year. And when we return, our primetime players, our primetime play of the day, maybe a sum up or two on Week 4 in the NFL where the dogs were howling.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Grab yourself a great-tasting, low-carb Miller Lite.
Boomer, my game ball and my primetime performer is Tiki Barber. And boy, did he do a great job of running the ball for the Giants and setting the tone for that offense. 23 carries, that's about what you'd like to see him have. 182 yards and a touchdown against a Green Bay defense that is really struggling to stop the run.
Tom, my game ball goes to a young man, he's still a young man, who's adding to his resume. A touchdown pass, another 100-yard game rushing for the all-time leading rusher in football, Emmitt Smith, and the Cardinals get their first win of the season. A tremendous day, why he's still playing. Now, Times will have time for this. The primetime play of the day. And a year ago, the Steelers moved up in the draft to select the safety Troy Polamalu. A little slow coming on last year. Nothing slow about this play. Sealing the deal against the Bengals, who do look like Princeton. Look at the whoop, and then whoop, and then Carson Palmer, get out of my way. Touchdown. So New England goes for the record next week at home against Miami. New England, the Jets, Eagles at 4-0, Falcons at 4-0, Seahawks rattle undefeated. Dolphins and Bucks are 0-4. Niners haven't won yet, pending on the night. Chiefs haven't won yet. Bills haven't won yet.
That separation. We talked about the bottom tier and the upper tier.
But the streak not snapped.
No, that's true.
Welcome to August.
We're on a streak, too.
For Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks.